like most popular billion
Yeah,
Montgomery
yeah, just
Burns.
like, well, no, I mean positive. I mean like they're a
Oh,
good, they're good.
you think Scrooge McDuck is good?
Have you watched DuckTales? He's
My
great.
my image of
Life is
Scrooge.
like a hurricane, Austin, here
Yeah,
in Duckburg.
yeah. All I
You
all I
can't,
can think about is him swimming in gold, though. And as a kid, even as a kid,
yes, but
I was like,
he gets
bro,
his wealth from like finding and selling rare, unfound magical artifacts.
okay.
He's not exploiting people when he does that. I mean, except
Sounds like
maybe the people whose artifacts it was.
sounds like he's low key doing like a little bit of like a museum
But typically
of
they're dead.
yeah.
Or he frees them from a mummy's curse, you know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's a good way to get your money.
Lux, I don't know if our vertical show is currently live.
I fixed it.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Just wanted you to know so we could get callers. Hey, Austin, as a theater person, because it's always fun when I get to talk to not just myself. Did you get a chance to check out the Hadestown Pro Shot?
No, I did not.
Oh, you're missing out. It's coming on to digital in like 5 days.
Okay.
So
Is it
you'll
just
be
a
able to
is
watch
it is it just a the filmed version of it? I saw
Yeah.
Hadestown live a few years ago in New York. I saw it probably
I, s-
probably five or
I
six
saw
years
it
ago.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
Both times with Reeve Carney.
Mm.
And then, but the pro shot I'm interested in seeing because Patrick Page is wearing like a medical boot because he
Yeah.
like broke his foot or something.
Yeah.
And I just want to see Hades with a cane.
So here's my Hadestown take, and just
Oh no.
understand where I'm coming from on this, okay?
Oh no.
No,
Uh-oh.
listen. There are
Uh-oh.
things, listen.
Uh-huh.
There are
Uh-huh.
things from time to time that I see, and I know when I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this isn't for me, but that doesn't mean it's not good. There are things that I
Okay.
watch and I just go like, oh, this wasn't made for my particular sensibilities. It was
All
made for
right.
somebody else, and that's totally okay. I just watched a movie like this yesterday. I watched I went and saw Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. It was a great movie, great time. I like Jane Schoenbrun's movies, but the person next to me in the theater was like sobbing from like the midpoint of the film to the end of the film, having like a full body emotional experience. And I
Yeah.
knew it was because the film was communicating something about their personal lived experience that I just didn't know. And so
Uh-huh.
like it's communicating an experience with gender and sexuality that I can only glimpse from a distance through art like this. And I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate that the art exists, but I'm like I can't have the same experience this person sitting next to me is having because it's just not like the movie's not made for me. And that's
What's the thing about
okay.
Hadestown that you feel like isn't made for you?
It's just not a style of music that I rock with. And but it's like,
Oh.
but I know that for some people, they're like, oh, inject this
Yeah, I
into my
love it.
veins. And
Oh,
you know what I
do
mean?
love
And
I do
so,
prefer the off like the out of town tryouts when it was at I want to say it was City Center, but I can't know for sure. It became a bit more jazz,
yeah.
less folk when it
Mhm.
transferred, which is still good, but I think the folk it loses something without it. Like
Yeah.
it was like a dark folk tale. But still good. I do know exactly what you're talking about though, because like I saw the TV glow and I was like, this is a good movie, but it didn't really hit for me the first time I saw it until I got home and everyone was like, oh, what did you think of the trans allegory? I'm like, is it trans allegory? Like
The Matrix
this
is
is how
about trans people.
that's how I knew I'm not an egg because I was like, I didn't pick up on that
Yeah.
at all. Makes
Yeah.
so much sense when I
No,
went back and rewatched it.
That's a really good way of saying that's how I know I'm not an egg, is I was sitting there next to that person going like, oh, like there are just levels to this movie that I just can't appreciate because it's just not for me. And
Yeah.
that's totally okay. But I'm sitting here going like, this is a great time still. I think Jane made the hell out of the movie and like really made the movie that they were trying to make. And you can tell that they are a filmmaker who is very in control of what they're trying to do. And that's how I feel about Hadestown is like I watched it and I was like, I want more musicals like this to exist on Broadway. I want people to play with the form more like this. I'm glad it exists. The people who love it, I get why they do. I'm just sitting here going, this one's not made for me. And that's okay.
Oh man, I love Hadestown so much. Hey, quick question, guys. Why aren't you calling in to 336-543-2101 to argue with us about any of these topics? Talk to us about MAGA being fascist. And tell me, don't call in with this, but tell me in chat, why the fuck do Legos start like this? Why can't I just have a piece that is this? The only pieces I want to build in a Lego set are the outward pieces. I don't care about the little inner, like I've already put like 25 pieces and this is what it looks like. I don't like that. Maybe I would prefer Mega Blocks. Anyway, what's the phone number
That was
again?
an L take. No one's gonna call you on it, but I'm gonna call you on it. That's an L take.
Whoa! Now we got the producer chiming in. Yo, can't I just live my autistic life in peace, Lux?
Listen, just as long as I'm not catching strays, because that's one of my favorite parts.
We've got. Are you seeing this unscreened call in the queue? Is that something? Am I tripping?
I mean, it just depends on like if there's an actual debate. On my streams, I'll let people call in with questions, and sometimes they'll call in with those questions to calling it now. If Jimmy's here, he says absolutely don't do it. Sometimes I let it through if we're not doing anything else because it's just a call to take, you know?
Sure.
Otherwise, we might sit here for longer doing nothing.
Somebody from the right side of the political spectrum, or somebody who considers themselves apolitical or moderate, somebody who's like, I don't really pick teams, I don't really get involved in all that politics stuff, but you do have an opinion, and that opinion is something. Why don't you call in?
My opinion is all moderates are actually ugly. I've never seen a good-looking moderate before. Prove me wrong, chat.
All centrists and moderates and apolitical people are liars, but that's a less funny opinion.
Oh no, I went straight to body shaming.
Yeah.
My bad. Was I not supposed to do that? Am I not woke enough for the woke crowd?
Yeah, I mean that is the thing, that the reason why moderates and apolitical people identify that way on dating apps is because they
want to trick people into thinking they're not conservatives.
Yeah, they can't get laid if they are honest about their politics. And
you know what pisses me off more than a moderate is people who are like, I'm apolitical, I don't do politics. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Yes, you do. Shut up. Right. You're just a fucking liar.
Did you see Donald Trump's granddaughter, Trump Jr.'s daughter, she was on like a red carpet and they were asking her about that. And she was like, I really just stay out of politics. She's like, it's just my family's so involved in it, but like, it's just not something that I really involve myself in. It's like girl, you can't say that. You can't be the dictator's granddaughter with an entire platform that was handed to you and built by generational political manipulation. And
I know my grandfather is Adolf Hitler, but I just don't do the Nazi
I just don't really
thing, I'm not a part of that, it's just not something that I handle. I don't handle that, okay?
Yeah.
336-543-2101. Lux, oh no, Luthien. Wait, no, that is Lux. Lux is typing in the staff chat as Luthien, or is that actually Luthien?
Oh no, yeah, I'm just remoted into all of Luthien's shit right now, so that's me.
You're saying that it makes sense that I missed that in the TV. I thought I went into the theater thinking I was watching a horror movie. I was like, oh, this seems like a cool horror movie. And I was like, I walked out of it like it was interesting, but I had not knowing the allegory really makes that movie suck. Because I didn't get shit.
I will say that it's still identified in a lot of online discourse as like a purely horror film, as its niche and as its genre. And I think that's a mistake still to this day. Like when people talk about it in the same conversation as they're talking about something like Hereditary or Obsession, I'm like, does TV Glow have horror elements? Sure, absolutely.
It's freaky.
Is Jane good at playing in that sandbox? 100%. I think it's a mistake to identify it personally as like a pure horror film because it's so much more than that. And it's not to say that horror films can't have more going on theme wise. It's just that the film itself feels to me more like a psychedelic drama than it does.
I think it was not properly advertised, personally.
Yeah.
I really think they could have advertised it better because, again, I'm coming off, like, the movie didn't have a lot of advertising to begin with, so I'm coming off the street to just see the movie. From the one trailer I watched on my way to the theater, I was like, okay, I guess this is a horror movie. Like, I watched one trailer and I was like, this seems like a horror joint, and I was like, that definitely was not a but TBH, I've had a lot of friends, trans friends, who said it's very scary for them. So
that's exactly, and Lux just said that in the chat. It is a horror movie for trans, though, and so that's that's the interesting thing is it's like whatever about it being trans like makes it present as like overtly horror. That's so interesting that you and I are just like not grabbing that element, because I would even say miasma or miasma, they say it both ways in the movie, which was bothering me. I was watching it, I was like, is there something to this? Because the two main characters are both pronouncing the name of this camp differently. And is that something? Is Jane doing that on purpose? Is there something about both main characters pronouncing the name of the movie differently? I don't know. But that movie is definitely more horror forward, in my opinion. It's definitely more like overtly homaging a certain kind of horror genre and having a lot more fun with it's.
I kept sitting there waiting. I was like, okay, from what I'm understanding of what I'm seeing here, there's going to be a moment where all the creepy stuff in the show within the movie is going to be in the real world, and that's going to be the problem. I was like, oh no, it's an introspective thing. Got it. I was wrong about that.
It's definitely, and I feel like I got that even more watching Miasma, especially with the person that was sitting next to me, that it was like, oh, we are definitely talking about what's going on in the characters' brains and like the horror of the way society kind of deprives you of opportunities to self-actualize and self-reflect if you exist in a certain identity and
well, I mean, it does go to show you. I do think, like, as far as like movies about trans allegories, I know the Wachowskis have come out and been like, yeah, no, The Matrix was a trans allegory. I'm like, not a good one. I saw the TV Glow, I think, is a really good one once I knew what it was. But I've gone back and tried to watch The Matrix with even this in mind, and it's still not clicking.
Oh, it always clicks for me when I watch that movie. Okay, speaking of, this is a good topic because last time we were on together, Jovan, one of our last calls was someone who wanted to call in and let us know why we're still wrong about trans women in sports. And so that's another thing. I'm totally I loved the reframe that you had on it, but I want to see if there's anyone watching the show right now who wants to challenge us on this, especially with everything that just went down with Ennis fuck-ass Freedom Cantor and Royce White announcing that
I gotta make an impassioned plea to trans people here for a second. I gotta make an impassioned plea. Y'all know I will support every single person that comes out the closet, right? I will support every single person that comes to me genuinely and is like, I'm trans. Mm-hmm. We need to stop letting the right believe that we are lovey-dovey to every single person that makes the claim, right?
Right.
These motherfuckers that are pushing for like, well, I can play in the WNBA because I can identify as a woman. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Yeah. And like, I'm tolerant of a lot of shit. I'm not tolerant of fucking liars.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, that's the thing too, is I saw this post about it that was like, this is so funny because the only thing the WNBA can do to stop this from happening is if they come out and make a definitive statement that males are not allowed to play in the league. And I was like, yeah, as though the only way Ennis Freedom and Royce White can be denied roster slots on a team is if the WNBA makes some kind of overtly transphobic public statement. But it's like, no, they can just say no. They can just say, no, thanks, guys. We don't want you on any of these teams. Like, that's also
like,
totally
we're good.
We're good. Like, no, thank you. And, and it doesn't matter if Ennis Cantor and fucking Royce White want to be like, no, but I really am trans. Okay, good for you. You're not playing.
It's just it's so dumb. And the right tries to do these things. Like, do you remember that right-leaning Uggo, who's actually not the ugliest man in the world, but like he would very consistently dress in a dress and makeup.
Yeah.
Low key, I think he might actually be an egg. Because
he owned a lot of dresses and a lot of wigs.
It became like a thing where it's like you're doing it so much now that I'm low key hoping you find happiness.
Like, you're spending more days dressed as a woman and presenting as a woman publicly than you are not. Like, you're on the, you know what I mean? And it gets to a point where it's like, okay, we all know the transphobic joke you're trying to make, but
when you start going from doing it as like a way to try to attack trans people to you looking up makeup tutorials because you need to figure out how to perfectly contour your face, that's when I feel like you crossed a bridge there. But I mean, there have been trans people online and people I've talked to who are like, yeah, I didn't realize how true this was until I did this as a joke one time. And then I realized, oh shit, this is a true thing that I feel.
Yeah, and Lux asked if it's Josh Sater or Sider, and it is. That's who we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's at this point stopped or if he still does.
If you look him up, he's, he presents publicly as a cisgender man. And they're like all of his photos are like he's but it is, he did it for a very long time, and like the joke just kind of got lost. That's the thing about Ennis Cantor and Royce White too, is it's like, okay, so when the WNBA says no to you, which they will, like they're not going to let you play on a team. When they say no, are you going to continue living publicly as a woman? Like, you guys have come out publicly. Are you going, or are like, we all know what the answer is. You're going to immediately go like, okay, yeah, well, I was lying. But it's like the point you were trying to make doesn't. It's like the guy that went to the voting booth the other day, dressed in a hijab to try to prove
fucking Cam Higbee.
And they turned him away, and they were like, you can't vote without ID. And it didn't work.
Is one of the most annoying motherfuckers. So me and him both started on the TikTok scene in debating like pretty around the same time, but he did the right wing grift and I did the left wing grift. This is my open admission to being a grifter. I chose the path of least beneficial, right? I chose the grift that doesn't get you as much.
Yeah.
But like, they're so, and he's like, see, they were going to let me vote. You didn't cast a ballot, and every ballot is audited. So you would have done a crime, been found out for doing the crime, then arrested. This is why you didn't actually cast the vote. Because if you were brave enough to think the system really was rigged, you would have done it. You would have cast the actual vote.
But that's it's so crazy to get on the internet and go, they wouldn't let me cast the vote. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's the point. They wouldn't let you. It's like what is Ennis Freedom gonna say when the WNBA doesn't let him play? Like, well, they wouldn't let me. It's like, yeah, that's the point. Yeah, like, you weren't allowed to make your like, this happened with Lady Ballers. The Daily Wire wanted to make a documentary about they wanted it to be a documentary. You know this story, right? That initially and they wanted to go and apply to play in a bunch of like women's leagues, women's sports leagues, and then show that. And it's also weird because when you think about like, what if they were able to pull off the documentary they were trying to pull off? Their goal was to like Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat style, play as cisgender men in a bunch of women's leagues and like, I guess, humiliate and physically assault the women in these leagues. To like,
well, that's my
you know what I mean? It's like what were you going
to prove that men are a danger to women's sports? They have to put men in women's sports,
right? And then cisgender men, and then those men in this documentary they were trying to make would have had to have like won a bunch of trophies and, or in their minds, stolen them from the women who are competing,
Yep.
embarrass those women because they would be, probably be wearing like some bad wig and they'd have like a full beard and they'd be like really hamming it up on the winners podium, do things like go into the women's locker rooms and look at women changing and do all of these things. And it's like, so guys, what was that the plan? Were you going to film yourselves doing that and then say, this is why trans women can't, because we might do something like this because a bunch of cisgender conservative men might do something like, and then they weren't even allowed to do it. But it's like, even if you had been allowed to do your thing, what point do you think you're making? It's so
That's
fucking
my plan,
crazy.
Captain. I have no plan.
Yeah.
All because they can't hack it in the regular NBA, the fun NBA,
Yeah.
if you will.
Who thinks we're wrong? Who thinks that sports need to be inherently fair by some objective metric, and that there shouldn't be anything any kind of biological advantage allowed in the arena of competitive sports? That's just not something that should exist. Who wants
I just
to
want to
call
make sure
in?
nobody. I just want to make sure nobody. Nobody thought I was serious about that fun NBA comment.
The fun NBA,
the fun league.
Michael Che ass joke.
Let me. I need to quickly. I didn't pee before the show started, and that was my mistake. I need to pee. I need to pee before we take a call. Otherwise, I'm screwed.
Go ahead. But yeah, that was sort of my my thing on that. Obviously, Ennis Freedom and God, I even hate calling him Ennis Freedom, but I try to do it like as a point to be like, hey, if he's got a preferred alternate name that he wants to adopt, even if I think it's the dumbest fucking name in the world, that's fine, no problem. But if Ennis Freedom and Royce White aren't going to be allowed to play in the league, I don't know, man. And then like Sophie Cunningham, fuck Sophie Cunningham. You know what? For that matter, fuck Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark chose the dark side. You don't get to be in the WNBA, in the gayest sports organization in the world, and be conservative. You don't get no, absolutely not. Fuck no. It's like being on Drag Race and being like, hey, I don't want any trans girls on the show. Fuck out of here. It's drag. I know, and I also know that RuPaul used to have like a problematic history with that, where Ru was like, I'm not sure if that qualifies, and then people had to be like, Ru, baby, sweetie. And I was an early I was a Caitlin Clark fan. I will say this. I'll out myself. I was a Caitlin Clark fan when she was in college. I liked watching that girl ball. Like she can hoop, dude, and she was very entertaining. But now the whole Indiana fever has a stink on it right now, and it's because of Sophie Cunningham. And it's kind of like these straight white girls in the WNBA. It's like,
tell me more about how you hate women.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm talking about straight white women in the conservative women in the WNBA. It's like you gotta chill with that. you gotta chill with that.
I think white women just in general need to take a chill pill on most things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, white women.
Mm-hmm.
We have a call. It doesn't seem to be a call that is going to be a disagreement with us, but it might open the floodgates to other calls. So we're going to bring up Christian, who uses any pronouns. They're a socialist calling from, oh my God, Emo's Missouri, right? Missouri? Christian from Missouri? Christian, you're on the line with Jovan in Austin. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. You said it right, Missouri.
Missouri. All
Missouri.
right, making sure it's Missouri. All right, Christian, what's your take?
So, my take, generally, is that, can I just briefly, for like 1 minute, just give I'm a fan of the line. Lately I've been a big fan of you specifically, Jovan, but I'm a fan of the line as a whole and almost everybody who is on the line.
You can say it, except for Jimmy Snow. We get it.
No, I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy. I actually think
that's unfortunate.
I didn't realize that there were people who I didn't realize there were people that thought Jimmy's approach wasn't good. I think that his angle on
I just thought everyone hated Austin.
No, not at all. No, not at all. I actually love the line. My mom and I are big fans. I have a couple of questions. First question, I wrote them down. First question would be, again, because I've been getting very into Jovan's stream, and I know that you're a communist, correct?
True.
And this is not a disagreement. I just would like some clarification on these things, because I've looked up some economic theory, but I guess I just don't really understand it that well. How would a modern moneyless society work?
How would a modern moneyless society work? What do you mean?
Like, what would that?
That's a very broad question. It could look like it could look like a million things.
Well, it's hard for me to wrap my head around.
Imagine you're hungry, and instead of reaching into your wallet and grabbing a tenner, you just go to the community kitchen and like, hey, I'm hungry. And I'm like, all right, do you want a pre-prepared meal or do you want ingredients? You're like, yeah, I'd like to cook for myself. Like, here you go. Here's a box of ingredients. Go cook whatever you want.
Interesting.
Boom.
What would another version of that look like?
Good. I was like, before we move on to the next question, I wanted to jump in. A friend of mine recently wrote this zine, and it was so interesting because I've had a lot of just pessimism about the future in general lately. I mean, it's been hard for me to be optimistic about even the next 10 years looking forward with AI and with everything that's going on, in the oligarchy and with late stage capitalism. And, there's that famous quote,
Absolutely.
It's easier to imagine the end of the world than it is to imagine the end of capitalism. But a friend of mine wrote this zine about trying to be optimistic about the future. And it's so interesting because this was a guy who, when I was in my 20s and I lived in an anarchist compound, I lived in a house with a bunch of anarchists, and we were part of a collective of houses in Salt Lake City that like hosted people who were traveling from all over the world who were in part of anarchist networks. And this guy was like one of the most pessimistic, nihilistic people I'd ever met in my life. And he was really hard to talk to politically because he was such a downer. Now I, in my late 30s, have turned into the pessimist. And he wrote this zine that's like one of the most optimistic things I've read in a very long time. And he talked about how he's been living in Arizona for the last 10 years. And he talked about how he got busy with his friends out there making mesh networks. Do you know what mesh networks are?
I do not.
So I didn't know this either. This is a thing that's been going on since like 2004, where different anarchist collectives in different cities, they have figured out a way to hack into the Wi-Fi signal from big telecom corporations. And they can basically layer the different signals on top of each other like a mesh, and layering them on top of each other helps do two things. It helps disguise the fact that they're backdoor hacking that signal, and it also strengthens the signal. And then they basically create these mesh Wi-Fi networks that they give away to their neighbors and friends for free. And they accept donations because there is labor involved, and people can donate food, or people can, trade favors, whatever, or people can just say, thanks for the Wi-Fi, you guys. And they've tested their mesh Wi-Fi against like the major players in the area, AT&T, all the big heavy hitters. And on average, their mesh network runs about 25% faster, and they're giving it away to their communities for free.
Really?
Yeah, and they're giving it, and I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard. And he wrote it being like, I had no idea how to even do this. He's like, I'm not even like a tech savvy person. He goes, we just reached out to a collective in New York City who'd been doing this for like 15 years, and we said, what do we do? And they just gave us step-by-step instructions on how to set up a mesh network in Arizona, and they do that now. And his whole zine was about like how nobody in the political landscape is planting a flag in the future right now.
Oh, that's so true.
Democrats and liberals basically want to take us back to like a 1990s style of American democracy, like that era of American politics, and conservatives want to take us back to at least the 50s, like but nobody wants to go forward.
Go back further.
Absolutely.
Further. Yeah, that's why I said at least, minimally.
Too many black people were able to eat at too many counters in the 50s. You got to go back even further.
But it was really interesting because he was like, that means that the future is uncontested territory. The future is, nobody wants to look at the future because, frankly, the future is scary and it sucks. Climate change makes it suck. AI makes it suck. Capitalism, the way it's going, exponential growth models make it suck. The future is just a bad place to look. It's also like where our mortality lies. So we just don't like looking at it. But it was a really interesting thing. It was just interesting to read this thing and have, it was a very radical idea to just think, what if instead of accepting that the future is doomed, accepting the premise that it's easier to envision the end of the world than it is the end of capitalism, we start to allow ourselves to dream of what's possible.
Genie.
And what different, and dream of Genie, yeah. And dream of what else is possible in the future. And I don't know. I thought...
Can I ask where I can find the zine?
Geez,
what's the name
you know
of
what?
it?
That's a really good question. It's called On Raves and Routers, but because it was an anarchist zine, I don't think
raves and routers?
On Raves and Routers, because the other part of the zine was he's talking about hosting raves and how like they do this radical thing, like they do these underground raves where they find DJs at clubs and they ask them to like come and play at they play raves in like the sewers and they go buy generators from Home Depot and then they bring them down underground and they host like 300 people at these big raves and then they take the generators back to Home Depot the next day and they do it all like under the radar without licenses, without permits, and it's like this, and again, it's using a form of music and a form of like partying that's using like techno music, house music. This is all stuff that sort of aesthetically we associate it with the future as it's presented in popular fiction, lasers and things like that. But
airplanes.
When these things were all invented, they had a utilitarian aspect to them. They were meant to serve capitalism and to serve the interests of capital. But artists have found ways to repurpose them and retool them for just the means of just like, hey, let's just use this as a tool of escapism, as a tool of radical resistance. And basically the idea of the zine was just like trying to free up space in our minds to start to believe that a different way of doing things is possible. Just the idea of the mesh network kind of blew my mind wide open. I was like, I hadn't even considered.
It blew my mind too. It's hard for me to wrap my head around.
Every utility we pay for, we overpay for, and by a lot. It's not even funny.
We overpay
by like
most of them we shouldn't be paying for at all.
We shouldn't be paying for anything.
I don't think there's any reason that any person in society should be homeless or hungry or thirsty for any reason at all. I completely agree that I love the idea that I now know. You said on raves and routers?
On raves and routers.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to look that up. That's fucking awesome.
Always remember the only reason anybody on the planet is hungry, the only reason, Christian, anyone on the planet is hungry is because somebody else doesn't profit off of them eating for free.
I agree with you on that. My questions are the practicality, because both my mom and I are socialists. I'm of course younger, so I'm on the fence. You know what I mean? So I'm a little bit. She is a socialist, but she doesn't believe in communism. You know what I mean? Here would be my next question, which is her question. You want to debate her about that? I would love to have that happen. She watches.
No, we can save it for another day.
That's fine. I'll call into your show. I watch your show all the time, man. I don't comment too much, but I'm almost always on there. I'm almost always one of the people that you see when you see the number. Here's her big question, which I'm curious about this from both you guys. And I don't really know how to debate her on this. How would the system account for who will inherently seek power over others to shift the system to their will?
Well, because it would be a more direct democracy. It's really hard to take centralized power when everybody gets a say. It's a lot harder to do. It's real easier to centralize power when only a few people. It's
sorry,
pretty easy for.
1 second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm getting a call from my brother. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry about that. That was rude. I'm sorry. I was getting a call.
Is it important?
No. He's just calling me after work. He's just like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, rest in peace.
Sorry.
No, what was that? No,
I'm sorry. It just kept beeping, and I couldn't hear you.
Was that
I wanted
too
to hear
dark?
you.
Was that
Rest
too dark?
in peace, my brother. He got killed by a bazooka.
What?
You know that song? Rest
I
in
think
peace, my
about it
granny.
every time I hit the hookah.
Yes.
What?
Yes!
What? This is white culture right here.
Boy, I'm black. I'm black, my dude. My nigga, I'm black. I'm black. What you talking about? I'm from St. Louis, dog. Like, what you talking about? No, but yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that.
I don't know how to come back from this. No, it's harder to take power when everybody has an actual say. Right now, we don't have a say. When we do have a say, it's harder to seize power.
How would we stop somebody from seizing power in that circumstance?
I mean, do you want to know how I specifically would stop them, or do you want to know like a liberal way? I have tons of ways to stop them, but
I'm not a liberal. I'm not a liberal.
Rhymes with schmeatine.
Fair take. I'm with it.
Homie, I can't handle liberals in this conversation who are like, yeah, I think it's okay that we have these people that want to exploit us, and we just let them. We should do nothing to stand up.
Just so you guys know, Jovan
I agree.
is only advocating for feeding the ruling class creatine until they they die from sort of like in Seven when he feeds that guy for like a year straight.
And he falls asleep in the bowl of
when I tell them to face the wall, what I'm saying is they need to turn on the hit film classic The Wall on their Netflix queues. That's what I mean by face the wall.
Sure. I get what you mean. All right, and then my last question. I won't waste you guys' time too much. I don't know if you guys got more calls, but I won't waste you guys' time too much. My last question would be, how do we make this palatable for the common man? Also, I don't know that. Let me
don't care about doing
that. I don't know that that's necessarily necessary. Yeah, exactly. I don't know that that's necessarily necessary.
Nope.
I kind of think I sort of think like that concern. There's certain things that do sort of take care of themselves. In this example I'm about to give, there's a very obvious rejoinder to it because people are still pushing back against it. But it's sort of like when we were able to, when Obergefell first happened and they were able to get a landmark case that sort of forced the hand of the Supreme Court to recognize the constitutionality of gay marriage, and it just like was done kind of overnight. Like all of a sudden it was just, I remember Utah was one of the first states to go, and I was shocked because that's my home state. And I was like, I can't believe Utah is one of the first states to legalize gay marriage. But then it was just dominoes after that. And we didn't have to concern ourselves with how are we going to get all of the bigots to get on board with this? How are we going to get common people from rural places to get on board? Because it doesn't really matter. It's like once it's the law, it's the law. And what we were able to show is like, hey, nothing happened, right? Like you're fine, right? Like, but it's the reason I say there's an obvious rejoinder is here we are over 10 years later, and those people are still freaking out, insisting that it was really bad that we did that, even though there's no evidence to suggest that there was anything wrong with that. But they're still desperately trying to overturn it and desperately trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube, even though there's no reason for it. But I think
that's a great analogy for it.
The principle I'm trying to point to, though, is just say is it doesn't really matter if they're on board or not. If you got enough power and enough momentum to just get something done, it doesn't really, it's like, again, going back to the mesh networks, it's
eventually
like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter whether or not, the common people, the liberals and the conservatives in that community think it's ethical for my friend and his friends to build free mesh networks of Wi-Fi. Doesn't really matter because they're doing it anyway. And then I think if everyone got access to Wi-Fi that was 25% faster and free, they would really quickly go, you know what, I'm cool with this. Like, I'm cool with it.
Sure.
They always
Sure,
pretend.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
They always lie and pretend that they're like,
totally
someone's going to pay for it. Nothing's free. Somebody down the line is going to pay for it. It's like, well, how the fuck do you think capitalism works? It only works off the exploitation of people down the line that you don't give a fuck about. Yeah.
These are the same people that don't understand how tariffs work. They're like, you know, so yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, if you guys, I mean, if you guys have any questions for me, or if you like want to continue the call, that's up to you guys. I will call into Jovan's show, and I will call into Takis, because I am like gender fluid, and I will call into Takis. My mom and I are big fans. I just wanted you guys' take on that real quick, and I saw that you guys were live right now because it notifies me, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a call. Yeah, you guys are fucking awesome. All right, thank you guys. Unless you guys want to ask me something or something. All right. Fucking A.
Okay. I've got a question for you, Christian.
Sure.
And this is for you, Jovan, as well. This week, I had a take on the internet that got me more like vitriolic, like insane, violent, scary heat than I've gotten in a long time, in years. And I just wanted to know, like, how badly did I step in it? I mean, I'm sticking with my take, but I just kind of casually said on Threads that Tobey Maguire is ass and is a terrible actor and is clearly the worst Spider-Man. And I really paid for that one. It was like 2 full days.
Is Tobey Maguire the worst Spider-Man? Yes. Is he a bad actor? No. Brothers slaps.
People keep saying Brothers, so this is the one movie I haven't seen.
He's so good in Brothers.
And everyone keeps telling me that he's so good.
He's so
I have a
good
non-take on this. I have a non-take on this, and that is that, first of all, I am a big anime fan, but I'm not. My brother always gets on me for this. I'm not into like superhero stuff, like Western style cartoon and comics. I used to like write comics myself, but that being said, yeah, no, I don't know enough to have any opinion on that. So yeah, I have a non-take on that one. But I also can I give an extremely controversial take that I think Jovan might get mad at me for?
Yeah.
Already am.
One Piece sucks.
That did nothing for me.
Okay, all right, fine. All right, fair. Oh, you
I
might
have
be a
no
One Piece
opinion.
fan. A lot of anime fans get mad at me for that one. So
Here's the question for everybody while we have another screener that's being screened. Are you supposed to have leftover Lego pieces, or did I fuck up?
I think they do that just to sort of make you think philosophily about
I have
like
3
the little-
leftover
That you
small
are
pieces.
supposed to have extras. Yes. Always
Thank you,
extras.
Lex.
when I did
Thank you,
Lego, I
Lex. Okay.
But anyway,
is there
thank you
anyone who
guys so
doesn't
much.
know
You
what
guys
I'm
got another
building?
call
Because I
straight.
want them to try to guess.
Thanks,
if
Christian.
you don't know what I'm building, hold in a guess until the end. I showed the box earlier, but if you came in after, try to have a guess of what this is so far.
I'll tell you what.
I'll guess in the chat. I'll guess in the chat because I have a little bit of lag on the TV as opposed to the phone. But thank you guys so much for taking my call. I will call into your show, Jovan, if you're willing to take me at some point, and then I'm going to call into Takis too. So thank you guys so
All right,
much. I won't
Christian.
waste any more of your time. Much
Thanks,
love,
Christian.
dude. My mom and I love the show. Both of you guys. Love
Thank
y'all.
you. Yeah, no, it
And
was.
Lux is awesome. Thanks for screening me.
Oh, thanks, Christian. Take care. Yeah, no, it was brutal. I thought that it was like a pretty common take that Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland are like better actors overall in that role specifically than Tobey. That those movies are really strong, but Tobey Maguire is just sort of miscast and not a great actor.
I honestly, I was rewatching some of the first Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, do the special effects in a lot of places not hold up.
Listen, those first 2 movies, I like those movies. I really do like the movies. Especially the second one. I just have always thought that I can't watch
He is
him.
a very decent. I disagree with everybody who was like, Andrew Garfield's a great, or Tobey Maguire's a great Peter Parker, but not a great Spider-Man. I disagree with that. He's a much better Spider-Man than he is a Peter Parker. He quips decently. My issue, and it's my one gripe with Holland's newest Spider-Man movie, not enough quipping. The only character other than like Deadpool where you can have a lot of quips. I know we don't like Marvel quips anymore, but the one time you can do it and you just don't do it. I want more. I feel like, and maybe it's just how heavy all of Tom Holland's movies tend to be, right? Why is Spider-Man not allowed to just have fun? Have fun, Spider-Man. You're a Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Home trilogy has a decent amount of fun, especially in the context of the MCU. Like, those movies have a decidedly lighter tone than, some of the other films. Like, it definitely has a lighter tone than like a movie like Civil War or Winter Soldier or, Iron Man 2 or 3. It's like
Homecoming. Yeah, I would say Homecoming and Far From Home for sure. No Way Home and I love Brand New Day are just. I do too, but they're heavy. Brand New Day is, as soon as you get past that, and even some of the opening montage, as soon as you get past that, that is a heavy movie.
Yeah. But it was so crazy. People were getting really personal. Like, people like because I said I don't like, and I also said I don't like James Franco. I was like, I don't like James Franco either. People found out that I'm an actor, and they like went and looked up the movies that I was in, and they're like, you shouldn't talk. I just went and watched your movies, and you fucking suck at acting. Like, you need to stick to your day job. People found out how to make music, and they started like naming my songs and being like, this song sounds like ass. It sounds like it was written by AI. You fucking suck. Like, it was the harshest, most personal response that I've ever gotten to anything. And I told them, I was like, I talk about religion and politics online for a living, and I've never caught this much heat for a take. So people are
really
people don't play.
They really ride or die for their Spider-Man.
They don't play about their movies. People do not play about their movies. Like,
especially Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Well, we got some calls screening right now, you guys, but it seems to be a lot of friendlies. So if you disagree, 336-543-2101, that's the number in the box for you to call in.
Listen, I'm God, and I'm going to tell everybody, you guys have to hit the like button. If you haven't hit like, it's quick, it's easy, it's free. Do it right now, I swear. And then, you know what? Also, click share and then copy the link. I don't care if you paste it somewhere. Just tell YouTube that it needs to show this to more people. Thank you. I love you.
What am I looking at in the call queue right now?
Yeah, I'm curious about this too, because it says friendly.
What am I looking at right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Shaz, him from VA is Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Virginia, Shaz, you're on the line with Jovan and Austin. What's your take, friend?
Hey, Jovan, I was calling to talk to you, man. Like I said to Lux, I was speaking with Lux and I told her that this is a friendly. What's the deal with you and communism? It's failed across the globe.
I think it's dope. Can you name me one place communism has failed?
Educate me. The USSR
was not communist. They were socialist. State socialist.
The USSR?
Yeah, they were state socialist.
Come on, man. Educate me. Tell me what your definition of communism is. And what your definition of
the complete abolition of bourgeois private property, which would lead to a disintegration of the state and class systems. The USSR had both a state and class systems.
They did that in the USSR.
They did not abolish the state. They were state socialists. They did not abolish the state. They could not be communist. They still had a state.
So when you say complete abolishment of private property, how does that work?
They didn't do that either.
Tell me, how does that work? Who owns stuff? The state does, right?
No, there would be no state. When we talk about private property, we're talking specifically about the means of production. Productive means would be owned collectively by everybody. They wouldn't be owned by a state actor, like a government in the form of like a country or things like that. It would be owned collectively by everybody in the community.
And what the
USSR did
modality
not have
going to be?
this.
Okay,
What's the what?
Jovan, educate me. Maybe the USSR didn't have this. They had state
They did
socialism,
not.
like you said. The
Correct.
state owned means of production, right? In the USSR.
For the most part,
Right?
yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My understanding is that is communism.
Your understanding would
My
be
understanding
incorrect.
is, I might be wrong. Yes. Okay.
Yep. There's a state. Therefore, it can't be communist. There is a state. Communism, quite literally, calls for a dissolution of the state.
Okay. And who's in charge of defense then? If there's no state.
Who's in charge of defense? Whoever we want to be in charge of defense. Maybe we
There's no
elect
state
a
across-
security.
What you're
Yep,
saying is
yep.
communism is a state.
When
is
we
a
say
condition or
state,
an-
we mean
state
when we
of-
say state, we mean a state is specifically a country or governing
Yeah.
body in charge of controlling class distinctions and like maintaining class distinctions. There was class in the USSR. It sucked. I would have loved the USSR to have gone classless, but they sure didn't.
Bro, I think you are wrong.
You can think that.
Yeah. And
Pull up Google right now and
to
ask it if the USSR was state socialist.
it was. I mean, and that's what I meant
Okay.
when I think about communism.
And I'm not
that's
wrong.
what I think.
Okay, well, you're wrong. They are different
I'm
names
very
for a
good-
reason. There's a reason why like state socialism has a different name.
Okay. Tell me something. Is Karl Marx the father of the philosophy or the system of communism?
I would say Karl Marx popularized it, but communism existed before he did. Socialism existed before he did. He popularized it and gave it a name. Like he came up with the term. Him and Engels came up with the term communism.
And in Das Kapital, does he speak about a stateless society?
In Das Kapital, does he? No, but he does talk about a society being stateless. In him and Engels
that's
talk
the
about
one-
it in Critique of the Gotha Program. They talk about it in the German Ideology. They talk about it in Engels talks about it in like Socialism Utopic.
Okay, I haven't read Engels, so I can't comment on that. Man, okay, if you say that the USSR was not a communist country, then I don't know where to go with that, because I thought that was communism. Because socialism
Nope.
is there across the planet. We all live in a mixed economy. The US itself has socialistic programs. India has socialistic programs. UK has, I mean, these are the countries that I've lived in. UK has socialistic programs.
I mean, I would
We
just say
live
a
in-
socialist program is not socialism. The means of production are still owned by private actors, not by
I understand.
a collective.
I'm not saying that they're social. I'm not saying they're socialist countries. I'm saying that they have socialistic programs. We live in mixed
I don't
economies.
even consider those
Where-
programs socialistic.
You wouldn't consider.
No.
Okay, what is your definition of a socialistic program then?
I mean, it would be a program in which the means of production are given to the workers.
No, I'm talking about socialistic programs. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
in these
I
countries,
I would say that they're like, I don't know why I wouldn't use the word socialistic in this regard at all. I just think it tricks people into thinking that countries like Denmark or Sweden are more socialist than we are, but on the capitalist index they actually rank higher than the United States. Like it's just a word that I don't like using. I don't see the utility in using a word that like is going to inherently make people think socialism with anything that doesn't relate directly to workers owning the means of production.
workers owning the means of production.
Yep.
And that's what Marx spoke about, and but he did not mention a stateless situation.
Again, I listed you a bunch of his works in which they do talk about the dissolution of the state. He never outwardly says stateless, classless, moneyless. This is just like a shorthand for all of the other stuff he talks about.
Bro, okay.
Jazz, can I ask you a question?
You know what? Sure.
Can I ask you something? Do you think
gonna
that a
pull a
stateless
sure.
class do you think that a stateless, classless, moneyless society is unrealistic?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. I
Why?
don't see that happening in, forget about my lifetime. I don't see that happening for centuries, for millennia.
Well, that's a different question than what
That's a different question
Austin
than what I
didn't
asked,
ask
but
you.
Yeah, I
also what existed what existed before nation states? Because nation states didn't always exist, right?
um, they never. I mean, you had kings and kingdoms, right? Probably not
Not
nation
always.
states.
Not always. You didn't always have
You've
kingdoms.
had
In fact, the idea of a monarch and the idea of kingdoms is actually a relatively young idea in the history of human civilization. And
prior to that. What was the
that's a really interesting thing to bring up too, by the way, because there was a time when no one could imagine a kingless society. Kings became the norm and kingdoms became the norm. And there was a time where there might have been people having conversations just like the one you and I are having right now, where someone said, can you conceive of a kingless society? And they said, no, absolutely not. No, there's just no way.
we
Who's gonna direct the military? Who's gonna collect taxes and make sure that infrastructure is built, if not for the king?
Me,
But what
preferably.
all
existed
right?
before the king?
Also,
So these
Engels, I have some direct quotes that I pulled. Engels in Anti-Düring says quite literally, and I quote, "The state is not abolished, it withers away," which is why I always rephrase it as a dissolution. Because a lot of people think that communism is when you like forcefully get rid of the state. The way that they talk about it in theory with Marx and Engels is they just talk about once you hit a socialist point, you'll have no need for a state anyway. The state only exists to maintain capital interests. So as soon as you remove capital interests, you have no need for a state anymore. Shebang. Manish on the beat.
this is pretty radical. Like I said, I have not read Engels, so I don't want to get into that because I wouldn't know
I'm
shit.
part of the radical left.
But it's not. Is it
No,
really
no, no.
that radical to
Hey, bro,
suggest that we try
consider
to?
myself a leftist. In this country, I consider myself a pretty radical leftist. Okay,
Radical
so
enough if you don't
not
want to
as
get rid of the state.
you guys are fan. Yeah, not as much as you guys, quite clearly. But yeah, I mean, I can't tolerate that Bible thumping, gun tooting assholes on the street. I am allowed to curse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you tolerate
So,
capitalism?
well, I work in the financial market. Yes, that's my livelihood, and I can see the downsides of capitalism. I can see the corruption. I can see the crony capitalism and how it sucks off the working class. I am with you on all those things. However, uh, means of production, when held privately, are more efficient than when held by the state. And you are proposing no state and
Means of
owned by
production when
workers.
held privately are more efficient. It's more efficient because a bunch of people don't have access to those means. Yeah, it's more efficient because half the world is food insecure. It's more efficient because we remove water. We have water scarcity where we make believe that water doesn't have access to people, right? It's more efficient because 75% of the population lives in the global south. So yeah, it's pretty efficient to get resources to 25% of the globe. But then that other 75% suffers.
I hear you, and I don't totally
But-
disagree. I don't totally disagree, but when I say efficiency, I mean efficiency of production. Okay, efficiency.
Yeah, why does production have to be efficient? If it's not being done for a profit, there's no need to be efficient.
Yeah, do you know how much fucking waste capitalism produces and how much of the efficient production just gets thrown into landfills and dumped into oceans? That's not I mean, I don't know what
That's a
Is it
separate
efficient that
issue.
we produce billions of tons of food waste? Is that efficient? Doesn't seem efficient, TBH.
No,
It's just
I'm with you about
capitalism can afford to waste. That's what it is.
I am with you about the food part. I know how prices get manipulated, how food is dumped so that prices
But
can stay at a certain. I'm aware of all those things. Okay. Go on. You're saying something.
I'm just waiting for the but.
But when I say efficiency of production, I mean the cost of producing a certain item or service. Okay, how efficiently you
Yep.
can produce that and deliver it to the consumer.
Why would I be
That
worried about
works.
price in a system that doesn't have prices?
I don't see that system. I cannot envision a system where there's no money. You
Well,
said
yeah.
moneyless.
Wait,
Yeah, people
homie.
used to not be able to envision a system without a
You
king.
want to go back to
You
the
said.
time? You want to go back to the time when
Shaz. You just said something so contradictory. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And it's this idea of, well, capitalism is better because it's more efficient. It's more efficient at doing capitalism. And when I say, but we're not going to be doing capitalism, so why am I worried about it? You go, well, I don't see it working. Then the because is because it won't be efficient at doing a capitalism. This is a contradiction.
No.
Socialism is not trying to do a capitalism. It's not trying to be efficient in the way capitalism is trying to be. So if your reason for not thinking we can reach socialism or communism is because it won't be efficient under the same lens as capitalism was, then yeah, of course it won't.
Yeah,
it's not trying to be.
You're basically saying we can't do capitalism with socialism or communism, and that's not the point. The point isn't can we do capitalism with these other systems.
Guys, may I? You guys
Sure.
got me totally confused. You guys are better debaters and better arguers, okay? I'll give you an example. I come from India, and I grew up in the late 70s onwards. When I was born and when I lived through the first 2 decades of my life, India was a socialistic country, okay? Means of production, some were privately owned, but there was this thing called the license Raj there. The government directed what got made and by whom. Okay, it was fucked. It was shit. Okay, a middle class family of four.
When you're saying government, Shaz, when you say the government was in charge and the government made all these decisions, did the government cut out the people and not allow the people to make these choices?
Yeah, kind of.
If the answer is
the government,
then they weren't socialists.
The government got elected. The government got elected. It was representation, but they were running the system, and they decided who made
they weren't
what
actually socialists. Yeah. They weren't really socialists at that point. They might have started out pretending to be. They might have started out pretending to be socialists, but as soon as they were given power, they stripped power from the worker. That's not socialism.
What I take away from this conversation, Jovan, is that you are talking about a highly idealistic situation. That's not how it works on the planet.
Nope. I'm saying that if somebody uses an ideology and doesn't do the tenets of said ideology, then they're not actually that ideology. If I sit here and go, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in Jesus and I hate everything he stands for, then I'm not a Christian.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that, but what I will say is production is more efficient under capitalistic systems, under private ownership. Yes,
homie,
there is corruption there.
Homie, Shaz, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to do this, but your criteria for efficient is capitalist. So obviously it's going to be more efficient as a capitalist when it's capitalist.
At lower prices and providing them to the consumer.
Again, we're not doing prices in communism. So I don't, capitalism might be better at lowering prices because they have prices.
You guys didn't answer that. You said we are going to have a moneyless society. In a moneyless society, are you going back to the times of bartering systems? Where you
bartering has nothing to do with whether a society is moneyless or not.
Okay, how do transactions happen in this utopian moneyless
we don't
society?
have what transactions?
Am I going to produce the bread that I'm going to eat?
You can produce bread if you want.
I work the okay.
Or you just go to a store and you pick a piece of bread up and you leave with it. You pick up the bread and you walk home. Yep. Or there's a community, community storehouse for all the food, and you go there, and they give you the bread.
Bro,
Why is it so hard for you to imagine a society where people take care of each other?
Because he doesn't want to take care of people.
That is not true. I'm a lefty.
It is.
You
Chaz,
know what?
you're Chaz. If you're in
Chaz,
favor of,
Chaz, you
of
are
a mixed system, you're not a leftist.
Chaz, you are definitionally not a leftist. That's okay. But if you are pro-capitalism and pro-private ownership, you are definitionally not a leftist, and that's all right.
Maybe not. But what I meant to say is that the policies in this country, if you consider the Dems to be on the left and the GOP on the right, I cannot fucking vote for a GOP candidate for any fucking office. Okay,
Yeah, you're a liberal.
They are not great, but I mean, I can disagree with a lot of their stances, a lot of their policies, but at least I can talk with them. The right.
You're a lib. You think it's okay that we live in a system that inherently is exploitative. I just disagree with that.
I think what Jovan. Hold on, Chaz. Hold on, Chaz. Hold on. I think what Jovan talked about earlier, I think, is the right way to frame this, because I think what happens, and I'm seeing this in the chat right now too, is people get really worked up thinking that this is something that we intend to happen overnight. That it's like, we're going to go storm the Capitol, we're going to take down all of the leaders, and like
Stop the steal.
The next day we're going to implement this moneyless, stateless society, and it's going to run perfectly. And people think about that, and it's like, it's inconceivable. It's like me telling you, like, tomorrow you're going to be the CEO of all big tech companies. You're going to run all of them. And you're like, I don't know how to do that. And it's like, get ready. Here it goes. You're going to be the person who provides everybody with all of the newest technology in the world. You know, like it's just, it's a really big proposition. And what Jovan said earlier, what he was talking about is, this is something that is meant to be phased into gradually. There are systems that are meant to be phased out. And it's just sort of the logical landing place when you start to think about ideas like socialized healthcare and government subsidized healthcare. So when you operate within the framework of a society that is run by a state, and you go, what could the state be doing better to better serve the people that state governs over? How could taxes be used better to better serve those people? The logical end point for all of this stuff is, eventually it's just a society where people take care of each other because we understand the basic needs of everyone, and we put systems in place that just exist. There's a system for food. There's a system for housing. There's a system for education. There's a system for healthcare. Those are not the way that they're in place right now. Is everything needs to be accessed. Hold on, Chaz, I'm not done speaking. Hold on. The way that it is right now is everything needs to be accessed through a monetary transaction. And you can't imagine accessing those things without that monetary transaction. And what we're talking about is implementing systems that, one little bit at a time, will get you more and more used to not having to exchange money for every need that you have as a human being. And eventually, over time, maybe not in your lifetime, maybe not in ours, but down the line, the place we'd like to land is a society that does not have the corruption of state rulers and the corruption of money and the waste that a system like capitalism creates, the wage theft that capitalism creates, the corruption of the owning class stealing from the working class, and on and on and on and on and on.
True.
All capitalism is theft.
Those things are very true. Wage theft is a real thing. I mean, I cannot disagree with those points. But when you talk about, see, we started with the pre-kingdom days, right? When there were no kings. Society has been moving towards organizing. As society gets complex, higher populations, etc., you try and organize, right? Kingdoms was one of those. Then we came up with whatever systems. I don't know the fucking history, but ultimately we've landed with democracy. However flawed it is, the current system.
Democracy is separate from this. Democracy is separate from this. Whether the system is democratic or not, like democracy can exist within communism. It can exist within capitalism. This isn't about whether it's democratic or not.
Correct, man. I'm talking about a political system or a governance system, and the other one is an economic system. I understand that. But what I'm trying to get at is, I forget Jovan, and who's the other guy? I forget your name, man. So I've heard you tons of
That's okay. I'm Austin.
Austin. Yeah, Austin was mentioning systems will come over. The change will happen gradually, but the change will happen gradually. There has to be somebody in charge who's running the systems, right? And then you said you guys also spoke about stateless. I don't see how that happens. State is an organization. It's a system.
States and
it's a
governments are
structure for governing.
Shaz, then you weren't. I defined the state earlier in this conversation. I already defined state.
Mind repeating yourself then?
Yeah, it's a political entity whose essential goal is to maintain private property and class distinctions.
Yeah, okay. If that is not there, who governs? You are also saying that democracy is not related to capitalism or communism, right? Which I agree with.
We would govern ourselves. We don't need a country or a state to govern us. We would govern ourselves.
How?
Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt really quick. I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second, really quick, just to say, hey Lazarus, call the number on the screen. There's a lot of yapping in the chat right now. A lot of people talking a lot of shit. Call the number. Call the show.
You're going to get those guys, huh?
I'll give you a platform. But anyway, keep going, Chaz. Sorry.
I don't get the question. What do you mean how? Like, that's such a complex question.
You
like,
said
don't be vague about it.
You said
be more pointed.
How we are supposedly governing ourselves right now. It's supposedly proportional representation, right? We elect our congressmen, we elect our senators.
But it's not, because we live in a system with money. Money equals power. Power equals the ability to make decisions.
Money, politics, Citizens United, and all that shit. The super PACs, all that shit. Yes, those need to go. But we live under a system wherein supposedly we are governing ourselves.
We're not.
Okay. Yes, you believe the 2000 mules kind of thing.
We're not governing ourselves because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we want. You think we govern ourselves? The president of the United States is making billions by scamming people and selling insider trading information on Twitter on Truth Social for $100,000. We're not governing ourselves.
This guy's taken things so far that India sounds wonderful right now, and we all know about the corruption in India. This guy, let's just not even talk about Trump. But even before that, corruption here was there at the higher levels.
Shaz, let me tell you something I hate. Let me tell you something I hate about liberalism. I hate that liberalism is like, hey, we recognize that capitalism is this fucking poison that is slowly killing like most people on the planet, but we want to keep doing it. I just feel like, maybe we don't keep doing it.
In my experience, look, Jovan, you will not find a friendlier counterpoint than mine, okay? Because I'm trying to understand what you are trying to say, and to be honest with you, it's not making much sense. Because again, it's a fallacy, personal incredulity, or whatever you want to call it. You can call it that. But I've lived 50 years on this planet.
You haven't.
I don't see it happening.
Listen, Shaz. I'll even throw you a bone here and say it's hard for me to conceive of too, because it's all I've ever known is capitalism. All I've ever known is the boot of the state. It's all I've ever known. It is hard. Like, we do a big part of what we do on these shows is we talk to theists about their belief in God, and we try to. It's really hard for me to believe in a world that is majority atheist. It's really hard for me to conceive of it because I've only ever lived in a world that is dominated by theistic views. Hold on. Shaz, hold on. You have a really bad habit of jumping in before people are done speaking. Hold on. I understand why you're saying, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening in my lifetime. I just don't see how it can. I get it. I really do. What I'm inviting you to do is just consider, A, that there were societies that existed before nation states. There were societies that existed before kings and kingdoms. That were not organized by, that were non-hierarchical, that this is not like a new concept that's never been tried in the history of humanity. This is actually something that probably existed longer than hierarchical societies existed. And Just because you've never experienced it, and hold on, just because you've never seen it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Doesn't mean it's something that cannot exist, that cannot work, that cannot be done. We're inviting you to use your imagination. We're inviting you to think, what could that look like? What would the systems look like that would allow us to have healthcare without money, to have education without money, to have food without money, to have housing without money, to have infrastructure without money? We're just asking you to get curious. To just be able to just be open to the idea. Because what you're doing right now is right, but you terminate the thought. You lean right into it. Could never happen. Just can't see it. I can't see it happening. I don't think it's realistic. And you shut it down there. Maybe you start with acknowledging it's hard for me to see it because I've never seen anything like it before. But it does sound like something that would be a worthwhile thing to strive for. So what could that look like? And then start getting interested in those conversations. Maybe we don't need to eat the whole elephant all in one bite, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good, man.
I could if I wanted to, though.
Yeah. Sorry, come again?
I said I could if I wanted to, though. I'm built different.
All right, guys. Good talking to you folks. Keep doing the good work. Love your shows. And yeah, the religion will go soon enough, I think. Couple of 100 years, maybe.
Boy,
maybe a millennia.
You'd think we'd already be done. It's crazy how the staying power.
It is. It is.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is great. Yeah. And if we could fix the corruption in the society, in the system, who knows? Yeah, I hear you guys. I haven't really thought about it. And having lived through socialism and capitalism, kind of crony capitalism, I definitely saw the lives of people improving in India post 1990s once they liberalized and brought in more capitalism in the system. I did see lives improve. It's not great, but better than what it was back in the 80s, 90s. Anyways, good talking to you guys, and yeah, God bless.
Thanks, Shaz.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Lazarus and Bow and Arrow in the chat, you are cowards, and you're also bootlickers. You need a daddy to take care of you. You can't imagine living without the protection of a ruler and a ruling class. You love billionaires because you think they'll keep you safe and they think they have your best interest at heart, and you're a coward and you don't dare to call in and defend yourselves. Prove me wrong. Call in. Tell us why we're so stupid and why we're so wrong. You keep yapping in the chat. Call in. We're here.
I think I'm making decent progress.
No, it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm already.
I need to see the vision.
Is that like one of those things that, like an Ultron thing? Like one of those things that, you know what I'm talking about? Like the manga where they turn into, it's like Power Rangers. It's like that. Where they
Voltron?
Voltron. Voltron.
This some sort of Ultron thing?
This one of them Ultron?
Nope, it's just a Pokemon.
Okay.
Yo, 336-543-2101. I'm so good at the capitalism debate, I can have it while I'm building Legos. But yeah, no, it really frustrates me when people go, socialism will fail because it won't meet this metric of capitalism. Yeah. Like, cool. I guess if I was measuring in terms of spaghetti, my birthday cake was also a huge failure.
But if we do socialism and communism, who's going to make the money off of it? Do you think that they can generate as much money as capitalism can generate? Well, that's not the point. The point of a moneyless society is not to generate revenue and capital.
But what about my money?
Yeah.
It's socialism hour. You're on the line. Call in if you disagree.
It just really is interesting, the thought terminating cliches that we so easily fall into, that we just like it. Just the idea that it's like you're never going to convince people to stop believing in God, and people who like themselves used to believe in God and do no longer will say that. We'll be like, we're never gonna. It's a fruitless endeavor to spend your life talking to people about the nonsensical nature of religion. And people who have changed political ideologies in their lifetime, who themselves have personally experienced a complete shift in political philosophy, will be like, can't happen. It can't scale out. Can't possibly scale out. And all it is just like, you just haven't seen it yet. But here's the thing is, like, you also like you've seen in small ways, you've seen socialist policies work, and you've seen how those policies built on other policies that go even further, could reach an end game of moneyless
Man, you're
and
knocking
stateless.
these Marvel references out of the park.
What's that?
So you're knocking these Marvel references out the park. Ultron, Endgame. What's the next Avengers? Where's the Doomsday?
We can have a brand new day here. Okay.
Okay, wait. How many can you do? How many Marvel titles can you put into this monologue?
I'm telling you, I hope it doesn't take a civil war, but there's gotta be, like, you know, and I hope that civil war doesn't turn into an infinity war. I don't think it has to.
I feel like you could have done better on that one.
Could have done better on that one.
Yeah.
I think that if we all come together in Iron Man 3 about this, then we can really get it done. Okay.
If we all just got together in Iron Man 3, everything would be better.
If we all just got together and agreed to Iron Man 3 already, then
Iron Man 336-543-2101, everybody. Call in if you disagree. Preferably a disagreement. I know I'd prefer to debate as opposed to just like sit and gab with buddies, but you know, we've still got an hour and a half. Listen, I'm a soy boy liberal cuck. I love abortions. I think we should have absolutely open borders. Other third thing that gets Buzz haircut losers mad. That's my take.
yeah. Tell us why we're wrong. Here's what I would like. I would like someone to convince me that it is pointless and a waste of time to strive for a society that tries to take care of its people in a more, you know, total way, in a way that doesn't just go, we'll take care of you if you've got enough money. If you've got the requisite capital, we'll make sure that you're well taken care of. I would like someone to call in and make the case to me. And don't just say, well, it's never worked. Don't just like list me a bunch of examples of like it not working and you not understanding that most of those examples were just the CIA actively sabotaging it to prop up capitalism. Don't just do that. Call in and actually make an argument that'll make me take my headphones off, hang up my hat, log off, and go, okay, I quit the show. You're right.
And then somebody else call in and whimper for Lux. I just feel like Lux could use a whimpering right now. Lux has had a lot on its plate, so. Where am I? We got a call being screened right now that wants to talk, I think, about socialism again. Bully! More socialisms. Yeah, I have a real big problem with calling like social programs socialism. I think social programs are a great thing. I don't think naming them socialist, like, oh, well, you don't think these are like socialistic programs? No, they're social programs for sure. But I think it's just passing the buck. It's like, hey, here's a program for the taxpayer to pay because we don't want businesses to pay a fair wage.
Right. Yeah.
Womp.
You're right about that. That's a good distinction. But I think that what those programs show is the potential, the idea, the idea of a system that exists to, you know, like if we're going to turn our capital into something, since that's the system we're currently operate under, I'd like it to be something that helps people instead of just endless wars.
Yeah, chat. I know Austin doesn't tend to laugh out loud to my jokes. I think he's laughing inside. I can only hope, but he won't give me the satisfaction of a giggle.
Was that a joke?
Even
and I missed it?
that one was fake. Even that one was fake.
Was that a joke?
I think it was the awkward silence after I told the caller to whimper for Lux.
Oh, I just
It was just stone faced, no reaction to it. Like, all right, I'll see myself out.
I think I just generally fuck with your vibe, and I just go like, yeah, whatever. He like that's fine.
Hey, don't kill my vibe.
Yeah.
We got a couple people calling right now, so let's let those get screened, and then we can do the damn thing. You know, I'm really fucking putting in work on this Lego right now. Sorry. Putting in work makes it sound like I'm doing some labor here. This is a fun activity.
Looks like John from Canada is good to go here. So
blame Canada. Am I right?
yeah. It's interesting right off the bat. This call says hosts are wrong and don't want socialism, but Jovan's been advocating for communism.
I mean, I'll take socialism.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
so will I.
like I just consider every socialist should just be a communist. It's just the natural progression of where socialism would lead. Otherwise, you're just telling me you eventually want capitalism to come back, which I think is silly little goose.
Yeah.
Silly little capitalist goose.
Do you want to answer, John, or should I?
You can you go nuts, my friend.
Here we go. John, what's up? You are on with Jovan and Austin. How you doing today?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you? Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes. I'm saying
Okay.
this right now. You do not want socialism. I mean, more importantly, you do not want capitalism.
I definitely do.
Communism.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Definitely
I'm
do.
saying that right now. You don't. You do not.
I mean, you can say that. You can say that, but I
If
promise you I
If you
do.
lived under, I promise you don't. If you lived under communism,
Promise I
I guarantee
do.
your freedom will go guaranteed.
Which
will go away
communism should
tomorrow.
communism should I live under specifically?
You live under capitalism, the one that you're living
No,
under right now. Capitalism's the best
which communism should I live under? You said if I lived under
said
communism, I
capitalism.
wouldn't want it. You said if I lived under communism, I wouldn't want it anymore. Which communism should I go live under?
Live under capitalism. That's what I'm telling you. Capitalism.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate living under capitalism. It's the worst. I love
You are
watching
living under-
75%
You are
of the
living
world
under,
starve.
You are living under capitalism right now. In your benefit.
Yes, and I have to watch 75% of the world be food insecure. That's amazing. I love that.
We are not having a good time
glad
right
you
now,
agree.
John.
I'm glad you agree that capitalism is great. I think you love it.
Wow.
I'm glad
No.
you agree.
John, anything relevant to add to the conversation, or should I just believe you didn't graduate grade school?
First of all, communism means
Second of
everyone
all-
lives under poverty. And second of all, under capitalism...
Sorry, can you provide an actual
out
definition of
poverty.
communism? I would love an actual definition of communism,
It's-
please.
It's a state-run form of government. And
I like how
environment
you
where
said
the
it
government
right, and then you had to
owns it.
fix it to make your loser argument fit. You said it right the first time, and then you had to change it because you realized, oh shit, how can something be state-run if it's stateless?
It's not stateless. It's run by the state. Well, that's how. That's
It's
what
not
communism
actually.
means.
Should I get here? Let's
I
do
know
it.
more than
Let's
you
do
do.
some.
I know more than you do. Don't tell me that I'm wrong.
Let's do something. Hey, did you read Anti-During from Friedrich Engels?
I don't have to. I have history.
No, of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. What about Critique of the Gotha Program? Did you read Critique? Did you read Critique the Gotha Program by Marx? No, I know you didn't. You don't know how to answer that question. What about
Jovan,
Origin of the Family? Did you
History
read that
is on
one?
my side.
No, you didn't.
Jovan, I don't think you heard
This
him. He
is on
said
my
he
side,
knows
John.
more than you do. So,
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't.
So-
I wasn't listening when he said the
didn't
really
hear
stupid
that he
thing.
said he knows more.
I'm
My
glad we
bad.
agree.
I should have been listening when he said the really stupid thing. You're right, Austin. My bad.
He doesn't need
My
to
bad,
read
dog.
books. He knows more things.
Yeah. Why would we need to read? Why would we need? Hey, John. Hey, John.
Oh
If I wanted to learn about communist theory, where would I turn to for that?
Look at your history.
If I want to learn theory, I would go to history. History doesn't teach theory.
Okay, you want a practical example? Go to New York right now. People are suffering.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to.
I'm in New York right now.
That was so stupid to say you're Canadian.
What am I supposed to see? I'm in New York right now. What am I supposed to see?
I'll make sure all those New Yorkers who got access to childcare, I'll tell them,
under communism, under Mamdani, people are not allowed
Mamdani's not a communist.
To use air conditioning because he says it's
you're stupid.
Oh my god! You're dumb.
Okay,
you're
there's one of two things. There's one of two things happening now. There's one of two things happening now. John, stop. John, shut up. John, shut up. John, shut up. John, shut up. There's one of two things happening right now. John, shut up. There's one of two things happening right now. Either you're a very poor troll, and I'm calling it now, so if you do the whole troll thing later, I figured you out, or you're genuinely stupid. And I mean stupid to a way where I worry about you living on your own. So which one of those two is it?
I'm a very intelligent person.
You're not, because you told us that you told us that. Wait, let's talk about why you're not an intelligent person. You specifically said that you said we're suffering in New York, but you called in from Canada.
Yes. And your point?
John, your example is the air conditioning thing. New York is suffering under Zoran Mamdani because of the air conditioning. First of all, John, Con Edison, the power company that supplies power to the New York City area, that's where people get their power from. They have been putting out advisories during heat waves in the summer to keep your AC at like around 78 degrees for decades. Like this is a very, like I lived in New York from 2016 to 2019, and that happened every single year that I was here. This is not a thing that Zoran Mamdani invented. This is not like a staple of communism or socialism. That's why I was like, oh, you're dumb. Like you saw like the first piece of anti-Mamdani propaganda that the right could feed you, that the right was like, he's not going to let you turn on your AC. And you just gobbled that up. And you think that that's what communism is, dude? You think that communism is Con Edison, the power company for New York City, saying, hey, can everybody watch their AC usage so that we don't have rolling blackouts? The capitalist power company that is responsible for rolling blackouts in the city, and says like, hey, because this is not a new thing. This is not a Zoran Mamdani policy. Nothing about this is remotely influenced by socialism or communism. Do you got another one, John? Do you have another thing that Zoran Mamdani's done that New Yorkers are suffering under?
I hope it's good.
Yes, criminals are running rampant. And people
Where?
Communism in New York. Now, communism is when
John,
government owns everything.
The murder rate and the crime rate are at an all-time low right now in New York City, in the middle of a historic heat wave. You are 100% opposite world wrong.
I am not wrong. I am right. I know my stuff.
How does it feel to be wrong?
I know my stuff. I love that. I know my stuff.
Yeah.
John, I'm here. You're in Canada. I'm here. I'm in New York City. There has never been a cooler time to be people in New York City are fucking losing their minds with how cool it is to live in New York right now. Like, there is nowhere in America that people would everybody who lives here. I don't even live here. Like, I'm just visiting here. People fucking love Zoran Mamdani. They don't play about Zoran Mamdani.
Jungle, wet green tomato.
And John from Canada doesn't know the first fucking thing about what's going on in New York City right now because he saw it in a meme online. Okay?
Murder's experienced an 86.3% decline. Did you know that?
Gentlemen, even if the New York City you're talking about exists, I guarantee you sooner or later the bill will come in. And when Mamdani puts in his fascist government, he already has, and starts threatening people.
Did you say Mamdani's going to put in his fascist government?
Marriage.
I'm predicting that right now. I am predicting that right now.
You're predicting that Zoran
right,
Mamdani
Phil.
is a fascist.
He is a fascist and a communist.
What is fascism, John?
When government does
Fascism
things I
is
don't like.
control, over the people. It's complete control of the media, economy, your very lives.
Which media does Zoran
Mark my
Mamdani have
words.
control over? I'm just wondering.
John,
The media of New York.
John, oh my God,
You're
John,
so
John, you are
stupid.
describing what's going on with the right wing in America right now and the right wing across the world. You're describing
Hey, whoa.
owning complete
The white
control over
wing.
the
White wing, Austin.
complete control over the media, complete control over narratives. Do you know about the Paramount
I'll sing
Warner
myself
Brothers
out,
merger?
guys.
Do you know why people don't want that merger to happen? Do you know why it's a bad
Why
thing?
is that? Why?
It's happening because the Trump administration wants complete control over all of the media, and it should be illegal. It shouldn't be allowed. There are laws against it. It shouldn't be allowed. It's technically not supposed to be able to happen. It's a merger that should not legally be able to happen. But the Trump administration, because they just break the law every single fucking day, multiple times a day, they're doing it anyway. And the reason why they're doing it is to have complete control over the media. The narrative you just said, complete control over people, you're actually describing totalitarianism, but like what you're describing is the MO of the Trump administration. How the fuck does Zoran Mamdani run the media? How does the mayor of New York City run
He
the
runs
media
marriage.
more than the prime minister of Israel and the president of the United States?
Gentlemen, it is your side that cancels anyone, any conservative.
Did you just say canceling? Why the fuck would we be talking about canceling when we're
Hey,
talking
John.
state-run media? You ignoramus.
That's exactly what.
Sorry, that's
what
an insult
fascism
to
is.
ignoramuses, honestly. That's,
John,
that's
did you go and
honestly
see
an
the
insult
new
to
Odyssey
ignoramuses.
movie?
No, I have no interest in that.
Why not?
Liberal media.
Why not,
Because
John?
they did bad casting, but I'm not getting into that. Yeah, they did
Okay, so
bad
John,
casting.
I don't want to
John,
watch trans people in
Yeah,
my
wait,
Odyssey
wait.
movie.
Yeah.
who cancels who, John? I thought you said that we're the ones who
Pardon me?
cancel people we don't like, but you're gonna boycott the movie. You refuse to go see the movie because they did bad casting? Because there are
John
black
loves cancel
people and
culture.
trans people in the movie, John? You fucking snowflake.
First
Pussy.
of all, the Odyssey is based on a true story. It has to be historical.
No,
not
the
based
Odyssey is
on-
not
No,
based
it
on a
is.
true story. You fucking clown. No, it is not.
John's trolling and okay, all right.
I'm telling this for your own good, and God exists. And
The
I hope God
Odyssey
blesses
is.
you.
First of
The-
all,
May God bless you.
Can you
gentlemen.
say, John? Can you say marriage?
I hope you come. I hope you guys.
Can you say marriage? Can you say marriage for me?
You guys come back
Marriage.
and come to God. And come to God.
I just want you to say marriage. I just really,
hope that for you.
I really want you to say
I just
marriage.
said-
John,
You gotta
said
draw it out
marriage.
more. You gotta
John,
draw it. You gotta draw it out more.
Jovan did call it because like I think now you are trolling, but also the way that you're like
obviously.
responding feels like you might be sincere, and that is like the two options are you're either trolling, which
Or
Jovan
he's
called,
really stupid.
or you are maybe the dumbest caller I've ever talked to on this show, and I talk to really really dumb people every time I co-host this show. And this is like one of the most
The very fact that you guys
But
want
to that
comments from us
remix.
means that you
Sorry.
are the idiots. That's all I have to say. You are the idiots.
Oh, spell idiot. Spell idiot. Spell idiot for me.
I don't have to. This is not.
Yeah, because you can't. Because you can't spell it. God damn, you can't spell idiot. That's crazy.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night, and may God bless you.
John,
Okay.
I hope that every side of your pillow is hot as fuck. You ugly bitch.
wow. The fact that
Marriage.
Zoran Mamdani is a fascist communist because he's not letting people use their AC. First of all, I'm running the AC in this place that I'm subletting right now, right behind me in New York.
Chat is saying John has called in before and he's not a troll. Then I was right. He's just stupid.
The way he was responding to you, because it was the Odyssey comment that made me go, oh, he's got to be trolling, because he was saying all the stuff. Like he was walking right into and taking all the bait, and I was like, oh, he's got to be. But then he would like defend it and be like, I'm not stupid. You guys are stupid. You guys are dumb. Let me tell you something. First of all, I don't need to see a movie that has trans people in it. Now, it's like, whoa.
Jovan is being a dick at this point? Yeah, probably. So what? Cancel me.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I hate this excuse. Like, I hate this goddamn excuse. Like, oh, he's disabled. Blah, blah, blah. I've met plenty of disabled people who aren't idiot pricks.
Right.
John doesn't get a pass.
Yeah.
I ain't never met somebody who got a disability that made them less transphobic, you know?
Yeah, I did get goaded into doing an impression, and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done the
sure did. Marriage is what brings us together today.
When he said, first of all, the Odyssey was... This is when I thought he was trolling. Is when he said, first of all, the Odyssey is based on a true story, and they should do it. And I was like, no, come on. Come on. That's so wild. Because it's like all the stuff that like the most stereotypical MAGA people say. So if you're MAGA and you're in the chat and you're watching this and you feel embarrassed by John, and you're like, that's not us, call in and correct the record. Call in and prove to us that, like, not everybody is John levels of dumb. You know?
Listen. I think John should be as embarrassed as he is to call, as he is to spout the nonsense that he says.
Yeah.
And if y'all want to hold water for that, hold water for that. Personally, I'm not going to. If you think I'm a dick for it, call me a dick. I don't.
Talking about fascism is complete control over the media, and we got Brendan Carr as the fucking chairman of the whatever it is, the FCC. And we got literally canceling the Colbert Show. And
someone in chat said, "Dude, when am I going to meet a Cyclops?"
Yeah. First of all, Cyclopses used to be real. Okay.
Cyclopses are actually liberal propaganda. Just so you know.
First of all, I heard the Siren song, and it told me that trans people aren't real. First. Oh my God. I should knock it off. Some people just talk like that, okay? It doesn't have to be ableism. Some people just sound like that.
Y'all don't call it ableism when the dude goes, computer, and he mocks the voice, but all of a sudden I mock the voice and I'm ableist. Not John, who wants all actually disabled people to fucking suffer. No, I'm the ableist. Yeah. Sure. I'm fine being ableist if I need to be.
Yeah. I like it's kind of like that thing, like when trolls that you're not talking to, who don't have like a profile picture that is like of their face, and they don't have any public facing photos, will like say some really dumb stuff, and then you'll call them stupid in a comment section, and then they'll be like, "Whoa, you're like, that's so ableist. I'm in a wheelchair," and it's like, okay, like, oh yeah, oh, first of all, like I can fucking see that. B, no, you're not. And
my favorite is when somebody tells me, like, if I'm cracking your mama joke and they're like, my mom is dead, I'm like, you shouldn't have told me that, because now I'm gonna laser focus on dead mom jokes. That was a mistake to make.
Yeah,
that was a mistake to make with me.
Yeah.
Don't insult me on social media if your kids are in your public profile. I will call them ugly, and you will get more mad than I will. It's just not. I'm sorry, I don't take the high road. I just don't happen. I don't do the tone policing. It doesn't happen. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there is way too much shit going on for me to give a shit. TBH.
Yeah.
I won't drop a slur. There's some things that I think are too far. Dropping a slur is one of them. I'll sometimes say redacted. I think it's a little fun. Making fun of John's speech is not one of the things that I'm gonna cry myself to sleep over. Just full stop.
Yeah. I think that's fair. But yeah, I think it falls into that category too of like, there's no way for me to know that. I'm not looking at the guy. I'm not having a face-to-face conversation. There's no way for me to know definitively if he has some sort of developmental disability or not. I wouldn't.
Well, that's the other thing is like, there are people who talk like that who have no disabilities whatsoever. Right. They just talk like that sometimes.
Right. And some people are just dumb. And
John is big dumb.
Yeah. So,
hate me or love me. I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
336-543-2101. We got about an hour left. If anyone wants to call in and tell me why I should have respected John's pronouns. I'm checking all the boxes today.
Listen, once again, I'm looking at these numbers, and these numbers, they're not adding up. I see almost 1,300 viewers in here, but less than 600 likes on the video. We got to pump up those numbers, people. Thank you very much.
Agreed. Also, we had a lot of people talking shit in the chat. A lot of them seem to have ran away, but if you're still out there, MAGA folks.
Misha said, I don't think it's ableist to marriage at John, but I do feel it may be ableist to make fun of someone who genuinely thinks the Odyssey is based on a true story. Yo, low key, that's the one. That one hit.
Yeah.
Okay, yo, fair. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. If somebody stops watching me because of me making fun of John's speech, you're too woke for me. You've won. You've outwoked me. You win. I'm not woke enough for that.
I don't actually think that when people get mad about that stuff, it is about being more woke. I think it's a bean soup thing. I think it's just like for me specifically, I don't like that joke. Like for me, like, it's like if I were to, every time I saw somebody like, body shame someone else in like a roast battle, if I was like, hey, you're making fun of like a feature that I have, so I don't like it because I have it, I'm bean souping it a little bit. Like I'm making it personal when it's not. So I think the people who get mad are people who are like, you're making fun of something on John that I'm insecure about, and that means you're talking about me. And it's like, no, we're not. We're talking about John. We're talking about, unless you think the Odyssey was real and you think Zoran Mondani is a fascist communist because he won't let people use their air conditioning, then we're not talking about you. We're talking about John.
True. Listen, guys, some black jokes made me laugh. Some of them are funny. There's some that they like really ate with. Yo, you want to hear about some racist shit that happened to me in person? I went to a Denny's, right? And I'm at a Denny's and I'm like, you know what? I just want a waffle. It was a hard waffle. And I was like, why is this waffle so chewy? And I wish I'd gone to Waffle House, but whatever. I guess I'll be a stereotype. So I was like, you know what? I want a waffle. And the waiter comes over and she's like, yeah, what do you want? I'm like, I'll have a waffle. And she's like, oh, we have chicken and waffles. Did I ask for chicken and waffles? What makes you think I wanted chicken? If I wanted chicken and waffles, wouldn't I have said that? I said I wanted a waffle. What makes you think I want? Either you asking because I'm fat, or you asking because I'm black, or you asking because I'm both. That shit was crazy.
Do you ever 8 Mile people when you're, because I like to do that, because people are always, especially people on the right, they're really bad at like making fun of my appearance. They try, but they'll just say like really generic stuff. They'll just be like, you're fat, and or they'll like say you look like a pedophile because I have a mustache. Even though this is a very weird thing, like this sort of like ubiquitous thing that people see a mustache and they're on the right, especially, and they immediately go like, "Oh, nice pedo stash, dude." It's like go look up a registry.
I think mustaches on their own, they do read a little.
But go look this up. Go look up. First of all, don't go Google famous pedophiles. But just think of all the famous pedophiles you could think of right now.
Specifically, don't Google famous pedophiles and where they went wrong.
Jerry Sandusky, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, Jared from Subway.
You will be on a list
ever.
You will be on a list if you Google how famous pedophiles got caught. You're instantly flagged.
What I'm saying is go see how long it takes you to get through the Rolodex before you find a mustache. Go look at all the people who were busted on to catch a predator.
I think mustaches read more 80s porn to me than they do pedophilia.
Yeah, it's Freddie Mercury. It's like 70s, 80s, like dude who fucks. Like that's that.
Where'd the pedo mustache trope come from?
I don't know where it got started, because I genuinely am like, we go back through history of all the like famous sex pests and pedophiles, and like more commonly, especially if we're talking about facial hair, what you see with white guys a lot on like To Catch a Predator and like with cops and people in law enforcement that do this stuff and with like youth pastors is we see the goatee. You see a lot of goatees on these guys. Not to like generalize, because facial hair is not a marker for whether or not you're going to be you have certain proclivities.
I feel like I could start a really sick like internet rumor and make up something about how like actually the mustache pedo thing was like, you gotta like make it super woke, like be anti-woke, like be super woke with it. Like, actually guys, this was started by the right as a way to attack Freddie Mercury specifically when they found out he was gay.
Ooh.
And then you go super woke with it.
Yeah, that would be good. This was a boogeyman thing that the right
It's a psyop.
did. It was a psyop because a lot of, not just Freddie Mercury, but a lot of gay men. I actually think you might have just cracked it, Jovan.
Did I just crack the code?
I really do think so. A lot of gay men in the 80s wore mustaches, and that was when the AIDS epidemic broke out. And because bigots on the right often associate homosexuality with pedophilia, that could be the thing. That they just go like, oh, if you're gay, that means that you're going to touch kids, even though like that's statistically not who we have a problem with. We have a problem with hetero-presenting religious Christian conservatives. That's who overwhelmingly and disproportionately is doing this stuff, and they don't wear mustaches. So there's a lot. Man,
I was just doing a bit, but did my bit turn out to be a real?
I think you might have gotten it. But all that being said. Anyway, my point was, when I'm roasting people, sometimes what I'll do, because people on the right they're just lazy. They'll just go like, you're fat, you look like a pedophile. And I'm like, There's so many I like to roast myself first before I go in on them, just to set the audience at ease too, to be like, oh, you could have gotten so much more creative. You could have been like, you look like Weird Al's bloated alcoholic brother. Or you look like, you look like your neck is trying to swallow your face. Like there's a lot of, you look like Boss Nass if he lived in Brooklyn and worked at a coffee shop.
I always, whenever somebody comes onto my stream and they call me fat, I really am just like, you didn't have a great education, did you? Like, of all the things you could have done, like, you chose the one thing that I see about myself every day. Like, I also am not insecure about my weight, so I don't give a fuck that I'm fat. I'm gonna still go home tonight and eat a cheeseburger. So, like, pick something good. Like, you're fat. Your mom's dead. Like, what do I care? Like,
yeah.
Anyway, chat.
I know you're fat I'm like, there's so many more creative ways you could say that to me. There's just so many more ways you could like really hurt my feelings with it. Like. Anyway,
you want to give us examples so we can have ammo in case you ever turn to the dark side?
Find ways to talk about the chins. Because I can't grow a beard, so I can't really give myself any definition here. So it's just all.
Do you want like a legitimate beard tip that like actually works for growth? For hair growth?
Yeah, is it one of those things from TikTok Shop? The like dioxy?
No. This will work with like just random everyday household stuff. You have to do a mixture of like butter. This is not a joke, by the way.
Whoa.
But like, I'm being so honest. Butter, barbecue sauce, and toothpaste. I really wish I was joking.
That's insane. What you just told me to put on my face.
I promise, if you do that, you will grow a beard.
You just told me to put butter and toothpaste and barbecue sauce.
Not for a while. You just rub it in a little bit. And after about like 2 weeks of doing it, you'll eventually come to the realization that I was fucking with you. And then it will be great.
You tell me though, truthfully, because what if I do it?
Nothing will happen. Okay. You will just smell for a couple days.
I was going to be like, it just seems like I'm going to be like pretty unpleasant to be around. What I did hear from someone, this woman who was doing my makeup for a film a few months ago was telling me about this big mole that I have here. And she said that I could get rid of it by putting castor oil on it before I go to bed. Does anybody know about that?
I would talk to a dermatologist about that, right? Don't
Yeah,
we
but-
have doctors that specialize in
know how-
specifically those things?
You know how hard it is to get an appointment with a dermatologist in the American healthcare system? I got to go to my primary care physician first, request that
Damn.
I get a referral to a dermatologist. Then my insurance has to approve it. And by the time my insurance approves it, the office that I was referred to doesn't take that insurance anymore. They've switched providers.
You just
So I gotta-
described what literally happened to me trying to get a dermatologist.
Yep.
Specifically because I have this thing with like the back of my head. It's why I keep my hair long in the back and I don't do a skin fade. I have really bad bumps in like the back. Like my head has a really bad issue that started in my adult life with scabbing and whatnot. It's why I can never go bald now because my head, I'm sure, is just covered in scars from years of picking at it.
Yeah.
My doctor thinks it's probably related to my diabetes because I wasn't managed for so long. But now that it's managed, he's like, it'll probably get better, but we should get you a derm just to be on the safe side.
But anyway, if you want to know how to really get me, when next time you're trying to hurt my feelings, go after like how weird my chins look. Just like talk about the face. Like you could be like, your face looks like I'm looking into like an infinity reflection, like two mirrors put in front of each other. Like it's just like one face that goes into another face that goes into another face because there's just like all the layers of chin. So it's like, you know, like it looks like a filter that makes your face like infinity faces. You could say that I look like Clayface, trying to come out of a morph. You know, you could.
Lux said that they're woker than us because they know that Freddie Mercury is bisexual, but Lux, bisexual men don't exist. Come on now. We got Jesse on the line. Jesse wants to just debate about the right and bigotry, whatever that is. Jesse, a Republican from OK, Oklahoma. Jesse, if you can hear us, you're on the line with Jovan and Austin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Solid. Are you riding
pissing.
a motorcycle right now, Jesse?
No, I'm not. It's my truck.
Oh, right on. Got that rig.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, no. So, I'm just kidding.
I'm
The
missing a
right
piece.
is we're the people who make fun of people. Is that the way I was hearing the last? Whoever that person on screen was, they off screen.
What?
That's the way I was hearing it. I just somebody was on this debate on this line was, they were saying, oh, you know, the people on the right, you know, the ones who call me a pedophile and all that.
Oh yeah, I was talking about 8-miling people when I get into like roast battles. You know how in 8 Mile Eminem roasts himself before he goes after Papa Doc? So like first he roasts himself and then he hands Papa Doc the mic and he's like, tell these people something they don't know about me. I like doing that move, but people on the right will come, the regular thing that they'll say is they'll be like, you're fat and you look like a pedophile is what they'll say. And I feel like it's pretty uninventive.
wow.
I just feel like it could get more creative.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
What would you say if you were roasting me?
I'm just curious. If I was roasting, I don't know. It just depends on the situation, how I'm feeling. I guess I'm not much of a roaster. I'm just so. Is this? I guess is the format? Is this like a troll? Is this like a trolling thing where we don't speak about ideas and whatnot? Where it's
no,
we
would love to hear.
I definitely don't.
I mean, well,
Right
like, what ideas are you hoping to share with us?
Well, I mean, the MAGA thing was, so voting for a person, is it, do we no longer stand because of certain issues? Is that's just what I feel the theme is these days. It's like, oh, why do you still stand for the president? And why do you still stand for who you voted for? And
yeah, I mean, are you cool with the
get?
president being like a serial child rapist? Like, is that like something that you're just like, why do I have to explain myself? Like, is that something that you're just like down with?
No way, never would be something like that.
Okay, so you don't support Donald Trump?
Where's that?
It's called the Epstein Files. I don't know if you've heard about them, but there's millions of files. Yeah. He is the most mentioned name in millions of files detailing Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activities of trafficking underage girls. And in just countless documents, it names Donald Trump by name and says that he was personally responsible for trafficking and raping underage girls. So have you not heard of this? Is this the first you're hearing about this, Jesse? Am I blowing your mind on this call?
No, you're not. I'm just waiting for you to finish. I wasn't going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So I know that the name's in the Epstein files, but that's just the part that you added on there. That's not true.
Which part?
The part where it says his name. He is guilty of raping or sex trafficking.
It 100% is true. He is named by name as a person who.
When you visit the island, go ahead.
When you visit the island, you participate in the auctioning off of trafficked girls. That's just a thing that everybody does, but that doesn't mean that you.
So
not every time. Not every time.
I refuse to believe anybody went to that island and didn't see what was going on.
Right,
got to be some level of.
But it is right. But he is
debate.
Okay. So you know that he was just held liable in court multiple times for raping E. Jean Carroll, and he had to pay her a settlement after multiple appeals, and multiple different courts said, "Yeah, you did that shit."
So Eugene Carroll or the Epstein files? I was still on the Epstein files. So the Epstein files. So whenever you would go to this island, this guy was like very, very rich, and I completely hear what you're saying about the things that also took place on that island. But that's not always what was going on. Like there may have been that going on also.
Jesse, people may have done other stuff.
There were people that went to that island. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe. Almost everybody in Hollywood.
But sure, Jesse, but that's not what those files say he did. Specifically him. Specifically, they say that he did like the worst stuff that's in the files. Specifically his name.
Okay. And that evidence, and where's that? That's the part that I missed. Like I'm not seeing where it says here's what he did and this is.
Then you're not.
Like,
then you're deliberately not seeing it, Jesse. You're deliberately going out of your way not to see it.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
So this is why I bring up E. Jean Carroll, because it's not something you can so easily dance around. It's something that happened. You know that he was held liable in court by multiple times for raping this woman. You know that he's been accused of rape by almost 30 different women, credibly. You know that that's happened. You know that. That's something that I'm not going to go through millions of files in the Epstein files and show you every single instance where he's accused of something. That stuff exists. You can go find it if you want to go find it. I'm talking about in the realm of stuff that you can't say, I don't know, I haven't seen that. You know that he just had to pay Jean Carroll $6 million because he was held liable in court for assaulting that woman. So you know this happened. You know that he is a convicted
Carroll also
sex
got
offender.
Exactly what she was going for. She got exactly what she was going for. And,
you keep calling her Eugene Carroll?
What was she going for?
They like to dance around.
Wait, she didn't accuse him. Wait. We have to pause
all day long with the money grab.
Wait. What was the purpose of the trial? Like, why did she take him to court?
Gets danced around.
Why did she take him to court?
For raping her, supposedly.
No. She took him to court over a defamation case because she put out a book in which she told her story, said Donald Trump raped me. He consistently called her a liar in public. The man who is one of the largest platforms on the planet.
Why would you trust him?
He can hold on, Jesse. This is what I'm talking about. She took him to court and sued him for defamation, which means she had to prove in court that she wasn't lying. Because if she wasn't lying, then him calling her a liar was defamation. And she won that case. The jury found in favor of her, not him. The judge said, they said specifically that he's in favor, for defamation, because they found, based on the evidence that was provided, that he did rape her specifically. It was penetration with a digit. Is specific with the charge that he was
charged with rape. So he was charged with rape. Is what you're saying.
No, he was found. She was found to not be lying, Jesse. When she made the claim he raped her,
defamation.
The jury, Jesse.
It's just funny.
He was going for Jesse. Stop, Jesse. Stop. If you don't stop, the insult machine in my brain is going to come out because it's getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to take you seriously. She took him to court for defamation because he called her a liar. So in order to prove that he defamed her, she had to prove that that him calling her a liar was wrong, which means if he was wrong about her lying about him assaulting her, then he assaulted her.
My turn.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean your turn?
It's very easy to understand what you're saying.
You didn't listen to a word I
sir.
said. You didn't listen to it, though.
No, absolutely I
You
did.
didn't listen to it. No, you didn't.
Have you ever been in a court? Have you ever been in a court setting like that? There's 12 peers that say whether or not
You
they
didn't listen to a word I
believe
said.
something. This is, I mean, you sit there and you'll try to sit there and make
Listen
me
to
look
nothing I
like
said.
I'm like not listening and all of
Jesse,
these things.
Jesse, I've got a question for you.
Pointless.
Jesse,
This is why this
Jesse,
goes
Jesse,
nowhere.
Jesse,
You see what
Jesse,
I'm
I've got a
saying?
question for you.
I get it.
Jesse,
It's for clicks.
Jesse,
I understand that.
hold
Now
on,
you're
hold
interrupting
on,
me,
hold on,
and I'm
hold
supposed
on,
to say no,
hold
no,
on.
no, 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 no,
Hold on.
no.
Hold on. I've got a question for you. Do you
Are
have
y'all-
do you have a
y'all
sister?
just trying to rage bait.
Hold on.
That's-
Hold
this
on,
isn't a
Jesse.
thing,
Hold
man.
on.
This
Hold
isn't a
on.
thing.
Hold on, Jesse. Jesse, do you have a sister, a daughter? Oh, he hung up. He ran away. Okay. All right. I mean,
Wasn't listening worth a goddamn
yeah, and we
anyway.
have a bunch of people in the chat going, where's the proof? How come you read it word for word from the files? What I was going to ask Jesse, and this is what I'll say to all the people in the chat who are currently defending Donald Trump. It's so simple. Like, you would never, ever, ever have this frame of mind for anyone else in the world. If you had a sister, a daughter, a friend, a cousin who was going to marry a guy, and then one of your friends came to you and said, that guy, I heard that he's been accused of raping like 30 different women. And he was held liable in court for one of them. Like, he paid out hush money for one of them because he sued her for defamation and lost in court. And he had to pay it out. And then if they came forward and they were like, oh my God, it gets worse. That guy is all over the Epstein files. The guy that's going to marry your sister is like everywhere. There's pictures of him hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. They're like homies. He wrote him like birthday cards and shit. That guy, and then people came to you and said, that guy that's going to marry your sister, that's going to marry your daughter, we've got him on a podcast talking about how he likes to go in to dressing rooms where underage girls are changing and check them out and look at them. And he bragged about this publicly. If you had all of this evidence about this person, would you be like, man, people are so reactive. People who knows what happened? You would be like, under no circumstances am I going to allow my loved one anywhere near this person. Like,
this is where I'm going to disagree with you, Austin.
Yeah, you're right. These people
so
are such
many of them do that.
You're right. They are
so
such
many men
massive
turn
pieces
the
of
other
shit.
way
You're right.
when they bring a friend into their home and that friend goes, ooh, your daughter's such a looker. And they go,
you're
ha ha, that's just a silly joke.
God.
So many people say, hey, daughter, go into the other room and change because your uncle's coming over.
You're right.
That uncle shouldn't be at that house.
You're right. God damn, they suck. They're really terrible people. Terrible people. I just, like, the fact that they're in the chat going, read to me word for word from the files what you're talking about. I'm like, these are millions of documents. And the fact that they still haven't released the full unredacted documents, even though they have been ordered to, and that was what, a fucking year ago that they were ordered to? And we're still living in the world where, like, the amount that we know is so fucking much. If it was anyone else, if it wasn't the leader of the world's most popular cult, if it was anyone else, if it was just some guy and they made a true crime documentary about him and they spent the first few episodes telling you all of the stuff that we know about Donald Trump, all of the stuff that people have said about him, all of the stuff that he's said about himself publicly, you, no doubt in your mind, you'd be like, oh, that guy 1,000% did this shit.
I just want to know
because
why
he's the leader of your cult, you're just like, prove it.
They supported Donald Trump when he brought us somebody who was convicted of, who pled guilty to statutory rape to the White House to work on a program for children. They support Donald Trump when he hangs out with Kid Rock, who quite literally said that he likes to fuck underage girls. They like it when he hangs out with Ted Nugent, who literally has a song called Jailbait about how he likes to fuck underage girls. They're shameless. They're okay with Donald Trump saying he walks into to dressing rooms without knocking because they don't actually care about about men in fucking bathrooms. They didn't care when Donald Trump said that he grabbed women by the pussy whether they wanted him to or not. They didn't care when he came down an escalator and he pointed at a 10-year-old and said, "I'm going to date her in 10 years." They didn't care when he said, "Oh, if Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I'd probably be dating her." They don't give a fuck about the predatory shit Donald Trump does. They will never give a shit. Because most likely these are also men who are dirty predators. So why would they know if they lambast Trump, they have to lambast themselves, and they're not fucking cognizant enough to be able to do any sort of fucking self-reflection in that sense.
Yeah, it's just so fucking crazy. It's so disgusting, the denial of it. That Jesse called in and was like, "So are we sitting here on this show saying that people are bad just because of who they voted for?" And it's like, it's so reductive because right out of the gate, I'm not going to sit there and go, "Yeah, let's talk about cuts to Medicaid and cuts to people's health care. Let's talk about tax cuts for billionaires. Let's talk about cuts to USAID and all of the people that have died from that." Just like straight to it. You support a serial child rapist? Yes or no? How do you square that? Well, what? I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? What proof is there of that? How much fucking smoke do you need before you think maybe there's a fucking fire? It's absolutely insane. It's ludicrous. Every other person that's mentioned in those files, by the way, they accept uncritically. Every other name. Bill Clinton was in the files. Okay, does that make Bill Clinton guilty in your mind? Then are you ready to condemn Bill Clinton? Do you think we should go arrest Bill Clinton because he was in those files? Say yes, and we'll shake hands and agree on it, and we'll go get them both right now. Say yes. Say yeah, we should get Bill Clinton because he's in those files.
To the dress, specifically.
And then we need your agreement that it's got to work both ways. It's got to work for the other guy, too, for the guy who's mentioned more than any other name in those files. It's so crazy that just like the worst person alive in the world. And they're just like, so I'm a bad person if I support the worst person in existence? Yeah, motherfucker. Yes. So I'm
That's kind of how that works, guys.
So I'm racist if I think a guy who spent his entire life being racist it should be in charge of everything, should be in charge of the world? Yes. Holy shit, yes! Jesus Christ.
Hey, 336-543-2101, if you disagree with anything Austin's saying right now, pick up the phone. Call in.
I see some of you in the chat. Call in. Call in. Let me know how you justify it in your mind. Tell me how you make it make sense. Why were you cool with Doge? Why were you cool with the big beautiful bill? What's it doing for you materially right now? What's working for you in America right now under the Trump regime that wasn't working a few years ago?
The best question is to ask a conservative what conservative policies have actually benefited them in any way, shape, or form. They ain't finna be able to do it. They ain't finna be able to do it. But you could try it if you want to call in at 336-543-2101. The lines are open for you, especially. I was wondering if I'd be able to get through this whole thing by the end of the show. I'm on bag 4 of 11. So not even halfway done.
Wow.
I failed that mission.
It's so much bigger than I thought it would be. It looks like it looks like you're mostly done whenever you hold it up.
I mean, I've only done two legs in the body, so I got to do the 2 other legs in the head.
And that's 7 more bags?
Well, because each piece of the leg is a new bag.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like 4 bags, like you got body and 2 legs. So I was thinking like at most you could only have 4 or 5 bags left.
Nope, 11 bags. Some of the bags are a lot smaller. Bag number 6 is a lot smaller than bag number 5. What we want to read some super chats or something? We have a lot of super chats. I didn't realize how many super chats y'all sent in.
Let's
I don't
read
know.
some super chats.
It's up to Lux if you want us to read some super chats, or if you want us to continue to goad the chat with outlandishly true statements about how shitty Donald Trump is.
Have you guys started reading super chats on Sundays?
We'll read them if we have to kill time.
Oh, well then sure.
Hey, let's read. We need a super chat theme song. Austin, go.
It's a super chat. It's a super chat. I think people think I'm doing the Tiki Room melody. I'm not. Okay, it's the Tiki Room rhythm, but different melody. It's the super chat. It's the super chat. Reading it out loud now.
All I could think of was Mike's super short chat.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something there, but that's all I could think about. Meg said, Amber Gray's performance in Our Lady of the Underground will live in my brain forever. True. I don't think anyone's been able to do it like her when it comes to Hadestown.
I don't know what that is.
Thanks, Meg. It's a song from Hadestown, and Amber Gray is a performer from Hadestown.
Okay. Megan Manita said, Austin, I recently watched you be killed on Criminal Minds. Glad to see you still breathing. Was so excited to see. Yeah, I got murked hard on that show.
Austin skipped over Tony.
Oh,
Rest
I did?
in peace, Tony.
Oh no, I'm not seeing that.
It's on our screen. Are you in the Zoom?
I'm not on the Zoom. I'm on the
even that one, you can see what's on the banner.
Oh, I'm just reading them in order I'm on the wrong tab, I guess. I'm on the calling it in the sessions when I click the funding one. Where are super chats?
No, go. Yeah, it's
the one with
the funding queue.
Yeah, that's what I
Did you switch
clicked
to funding queue in the middle or on the right? It's the one on the
middle.
right that you want to switch because it's better.
Oh, funding queue. Okay. My bad.
This is what vibe coding does.
Okay. Anyway, I did skip Tony, but I did get murked on Criminal Minds, and I'll let you read Tony's.
Sure thing. Tony Chopper, Hadestown was amazing. Meg and I didn't know anything about it before, and now we've seen the pro shot twice, loved it. I'm typically into prog metal and classic rock, but the music in this was absolutely fantastic. No, Hadestown is one of my favorite musicals currently written. So yeah, I agree.
Funny thing about that.
Show the one that you read earlier.
Funny anecdote about that episode, by the way. It was I was supposed, I'm getting like kicked in the face by this killer, and like getting like, it's like really, this cop comes over to help me, and the killer's like drugged me, so I can't really like talk, and I've had the shit kicked out of me, and the killer tells the cop that I'm like drunk and that I fell over, and he's helping me get home, and I'm trying to like beg the cop for help, but I can't do it, and it was like it's like a really like dramatic scene, and then the director just came out after I was done with it and just came up to me and just like put his hand on my shoulder and just said, "Dude, you are cracking us all up. You are so funny," and just walked away, and I was like, That's not at all what I'm. I was like, that's not at all what I'm trying to do.
No, what I'm. That's not what I'm going for.
I was like, is that the tone of the show? Is it supposed to be funny? I was like,
I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't feel funny to me.
But I have an episode I'm gonna watch now.
Yeah. So apparently it was really funny. Anyway, Tom C412 says, I'm a cis white dude, and Yikes. Do you know what that is? ISTTVG? Is that something I don't know what it is?
I saw the TV glow.
I saw the TV glow. Hit me right in a ton of existential fears about not being able to help people or contribute with my life. Oh, okay. All right. Little existential cis white boy. All right.
Oh. Go crazy, white boy. White boy, go crazy. Mika Clark said, we live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable, but then so do the divine right of kings. Ursula K. Le Guin. True.
That's what we were saying. God Center says, it's efficient at making Shaz feel good and comfy, and you can't replace his king because he gets more table scraps than he needs. Yeah.
Most of the time it's about a person's comfort, which is why when people are like, Jovan, are you telling me you would give up? Oh, I'd give up everything I have in a heartbeat if it meant that everybody had food, water, and shelter. Yeah. Wouldn't even be close.
100%.
Sunday super chats be like, I ain't gonna be read. Well, now, David, who looks fucking stupid?
Wow. Wow, David. David says, bootlickers unite. That's a really great follow-up comment after the previous one.
Phoebe Ophi said, the two most regrettably entertaining hosts on the line. Regrettably? I disagree with both of y'all often, but your God arguments are good. Love the show. Love from MS. Regrettably?
Yeah, just people who like begrudgingly enjoy watching us. Like,
I'll go fuck myself. Damn.
I
Yeah,
regularly
like I disagree with everything you say, but I like the way you say it.
But goddamn, are you fun to watch? Colton Robinson says, can you explain how crime and punishment would work under communism? I assume it would be a fully volunteer force with significant oversight, but honestly, I'm still confused on it. Thank you. Do you want to take this one, Jovan?
I mean, you kind of nailed it. It would just depend on what the individual societies are looking for. I mean, honestly, most of it's going to be preventative. Like, we don't recognize how many crimes exist currently because people are poor. So a large portion of crimes are going to just go away when people's needs are met. You will still have stuff like crimes of passion and things like that. And there's no real way to get around those. That's just like the nature of being a person, is sometimes you're going to do crimes because you're in the heat of a moment or whatever. It would just depend on like what outcome we're looking for. Like oftentimes it's going to be re-education. You can still have a force meant for community safety. They can even still be armed as long as they're like you said, the oversight is there and that everybody has the ability to call on. Like one of the things that I've thought about, particularly when it comes to politicians, is there really should be an instant runoff when a politician's, and you can do this for sheriffs too. There should be monthly polling of anybody living under a district or under a politician. And if a politician reaches below a threshold of approval on an approval rate, it should be an instant recall election. It shouldn't even be something you have to think about. It just instantly happens. Like, it's like, okay, Donald Trump hit below 50% approval rate. That means we have an instant recall, right? This should just be the same with sheriffs. So with the advent of technology, a lot of what we want can just be done on our phones, right? You can have a phone app that you vote on. Right?
Yeah.
That type of shit can be plenty secure. If it's secure enough to run American Idol, it's secure enough to run our country.
And Love Island.
And you can quote me on that.
If we got Brinity with the phones, we can get a new president with the phones. It is really interesting to just think about how much crime is a result of systemic problems. It's not the result of just individuals being bad, just bad people. The vast majority
you want to hear a crazy in regards to that? You want to hear a crazy statistic? Do you know what the number one cause, or the number one link to a rise in domestic violence? Do you know what the number one cause is?
What's that?
Unemployment.
Oh,
it's unemployment rates. Unemployment rates coincide like causally to rises in domestic violence.
Yeah, I would say that the vast majority of crime is directly related to economic insecurity and poverty. And then when we think about like all of our worst crimes, like you said, there would still be crimes of passion. We would still need systems in place for dealing with that. But like when you think about even like how much crime is the result of sex negativity and inadequate mental health resources and, having an entire society built around sex negative, sexually oppressive cultural norms in Christianity, and having so much like sexual crime come out of as a reaction to, like that kind of repression and that kind of forced conformity on norms and people not being able to express themselves in healthy ways. And there's just so much of it just comes from fundamentally broken systems that are not serving people the way that they should. And so much of it could be solved with just better, more humane systems.
In relation to that, just in another very interesting stat, the number one cause of maternal deaths in the country is domestic violence.
Wow.
It is the number one cause of pregnant women dying, is them being killed by their partners.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we got next?
I was going to share an idea that I had while you guys were talking, which is, in a system where we've like abolished police potentially, or if we've completely reformed it, we would also be probably implementing de-escalation training into basic education, so everyone would have those skills.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It just overall the answer to the question is that our systems would naturally decrease like 90% of the crime we experience under capitalism. Yeah. Anyway, I think that I read the last one, so if you want to read this next one.
Sure. John is one of the dumbasses I actually enjoy because he's zero slurs, 100% stupid, popcorn time. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, kind of like a wholesome dumbass, you know?
That was good. That made me laugh.
BPRD agent says, John has the propaganda on tap, computer, take all my brain cells.
Computer, take this guy's brain cells.
Mm-hmm.
Computer. Misha said, sometimes I think I'm kind of dumb, but then I remember John from Canada exists. Marriage!
Oh my goodness. Oh
It's
God.
so funny.
Everyone's
I don't
coming
care what
after
anybody
John
says.
right now. Lone Gunman says, Homestar One didn't have much brain for MAGA to wash.
That one was good.
Swat bad.
Goddamn.
Mine's a
That
bad.
one was good.
You got any twigs?
That one was real good. Real Marcus Holloway said John used to call Atheist Experience and Truth Wanted. He also calls other line shows. He 100% believes his shit.
Nice.
Yeah, he's one of those people that like definitely digs in his ass and then smells his fingers afterwards.
While he's talking to us on the phone.
Yeah. Wait, speaking of that, how come none of you guys have called us while you're in the bathtub? Why do we not get bathtub callers? Dean Withers gets all the fun. Where's our bathtub callers?
Yeah, I want some
Goddamn.
bathtub Truman Show callers, you know?
I feel
Matt-
like, unfortunately, the audio quality would mean that they don't get through the screening process.
Oh, just splashing water in the background.
Rest in peace.
I mean, you know what it sounds like when you're in a bathroom. It's like, oh my God, are we in a subway station? Like, what is happening?
Very true.
Next show, we should do the entire show from our bathrooms.
Meg says, Austin, your hat is hilarious, and I want one signed a Utah. And my hat, if you guys can't tell, says Frick. And I did get it to signal love for my home state, because this is a very just, if you're from Utah, you understand all of the different euphemistic language that we use in lieu of cursing. I grew up, one of my favorite things that my friends and I used to do when we were kids is we would just say half the word all the time. So we'd be like, biff or shit. Like all the time we'd be like, oh, fuh, biff or, like that kind of stuff. And saying frick, frig, shiz.
I just realized I can raise my desk and stop my back from hurting.
Shiz is a big one.
And I'm proud. And I'm really low now, but it's okay because my back hurts less when I'm
Shite.
when I'm looking this way.
People like to say
Frost
shite.
Frost King 33. I've met with mentally challenged people that were more intelligent than John. I feel bad for any woman desperate enough for him. Guys, John acts this way because he's never known the touch of a woman. Let's be so fucking for real here, chat.
For real.
People who get laid on the regular don't act like John.
Yeah. Joshua says, I sincerely think that if John's algorithm shifted overnight to serve him leftist memes and content, he would 100% shift. I think he just believes what he sees on social media, no matter what it is. Definitely. He's definitely one of those people that, like, if the algorithm were to just... But also, like, I don't know if John's smart enough to assimilate to leftist theory and philosophy, unfortunately. I think that's sometimes the problem, is like the reason why right-wing stuff is more palatable to people like John is because he's stupid. He needs like deep fried AI memes.
I think John is also racist, and right-wing
Sure.
stuff just aid
To-
like
but
aid
like-
in his racism.
But like racism and bigotry are like natural. The talking points that sell those to people, they land easier with dumb people, with people who don't know how to think critically, who are just like, oh, you're telling me that all my problems are because of people who look different than me? That sounds like something I can get down with. And it's just, like.
You just sounded like Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black when he was taking over the when he's the cockroach guy.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what that sounded like.
Honey, it's a water.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Joshua. Who's next?
You got any more? Is that the last one?
Was that it? We all out?
Oh, nope.
No, I just forgot that you guys don't click the send button.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Do you want us to?
Boom. There you go.
Oh, well, sorry to Misha. No, I'll bring Misha back. I don't think it's ableist to marriage at John, but I do feel it may be ableist. Oh, I read that already during the show. Never mind.
One-Eyed Weirdo says, every time a black person tells me a story about some random bit of racism, it dashes a little more of my white person ignorance. I appreciate that. Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, that's why I guess, that's why it's good to diversify your algorithm too, and just have people who exist in different layers of marginalization than you, so that you can just hear their stories and their perspectives on, because you'll be talking about the same, you might all be talking about the same thing, but then you hear it from the perspective of someone else and you're like, oh, I never would have thought to look at that angle,
Real. Hence,
Decolonize your timeline.
Me not understanding. I saw the TV glow. I had to look at it from a different angle, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely a trans allegory." I'm fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, they got you here, Jovan.
Oh, is this one mine?
Yeah,
Austin doesn't have a PDF file mustache, but Jovan glasses on the other end. It's just
I don't think so. I like your glasses. I think your glasses are cool. The stereotypical, if I'm not mistaken, the stereotypical like Dahmer style glasses are the ones that they look like aviator sunglasses, but they have the clear frames or clear lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, those, and they're usually like a silver or a gold wire frame. That's usually what I think of as the
conservatives will accept Jeffrey Dahmer before they accept trans people, and I think that's fucking crazy.
That is, as long as he says he gives himself over to Christ. Boss Nass joke made my night. I'm glad somebody picked up on who I was talking about with Boss Nass, because I can definitely, get some jowly stuff going on. If I do a little shaking.
Is that not Richard Nixon?
Yeah, that's Richard Nixon too. But you know how Boss Nass.
I couldn't tell you who Boss Nass is. I was raised black.
Episode 1, Star Wars, when they go to the Gungan place, and he's like the Gungan general that's like, ooh, Jar Jar. That guy?
Actually,
yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
That guy.
I don't know names. I just figure, when I think of Star Wars, I just think of other alien.
Yeah, that's Boss Nass. So, okay. You got Phoebe again for you.
Well, you practically challenged us. I'll try. Austin Archer has passed away after a lifelong struggle with a condition known as bullfrog neck. Holy shit. Phoebe, but I feel like because of your super chat earlier, that was a real dig at Austin. Like you've been thinking of that one for a while.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Bodies are so weird. I was looking at videos of myself from just like 5 years ago, and I was like, I just never in a million years could have guessed that this is how my face would age in my 30s. And it's
what a queer thing to say.
Like maybe it's something that I could do something. I could work harder on it. I don't know. I could do more mewing. I could get one of those.
I could do more mewing is actually very funny.
I could get one of those jaw sculptors, but I don't know. I'm sort of just letting nature have its way with me, I guess.
Hey yo,
Austin, I'm a medical assistant for a dermatologist. Castor oil will do nothing. Use Rogaine/topical minoxidil for helping grow hair, beard, and scalp. Okay.
I feel like you shouldn't put anything with 3 syllables on your face.
I know all of that makes me scared.
Austin's going to be face maxing.
I'm gonna face Max. I'm gonna face Max. I'm gonna looks Max. I'm gonna start. Do you think it's too late for me to start breaking my jawbones? Do you think that would fix my bullfrog neck?
It's never too late. It's never too late to live your dreams. All you got to do is while you do it, you have to sing the Never Ending Story theme song.
Yeah.
Look around. What's this? What's the words? I don't know the words. Where do you want T Skinner? Great fucking name. Where do you want it, Skinner? Is a great fucking name. Trump moved Maxwell to a vacation prison and supported Ken Paxton, who let his convicted PDF file friend out of prison after 19 days. We'll ignore it. Or we'll ignore that. They'll love to. They love to.
And they will. They will ignore that. They will just ignore all of the evidence that there is, and they'll try to pin you down on, like, right now, pull me up a word-for-word file in the Epstein files that says that he did that stuff. And it's like, I probably could. Like, I don't have it ready to go. But, like, they'll be like, right now, pull it up. And then if I did, they'd be like, that's off of a fake news website. You doctored that. Like, they wouldn't accept it anyway. But it's like, you shouldn't have to hear it read to you word for word, given just, it's the amount that we know. It's so crazy. Veggie T 2009 says, does it mess with your metrics if I watch the horizontal video on my phone? Deconstructing homeschool graduate here. Love the show. Way to go.
Watch on whatever you want.
Yeah.
With whomever you want. Wherever you want, as long as it's not from the state penitentiary.
Somebody in the chat, in the regular chat, said a beard could help the frog neck problem. You weren't here when I said I can't grow a beard. Okay,
that might be the roughest thing you could have said to Austin right now.
I can't grow a beard. I'm stuck with it, and also a goatee would make me look even more like a cop. People are like, that's a cop mustache. I'm like, a goatee would make me look 10 times more like a cop. I promise you. 100%. And if I'm cleanly shaven, it's just not much better. So yeah, the mustache really is like it's my best option. And I just, listen, some of us just don't have very many great options. Okay. I have to rely
my beard doesn't
on my
grow past this length.
I have to rely on my charm and you have plenty of length. That's plenty of,
yeah, but I would
thickness.
I'd like it a little more.
Yeah.
You could do a bit more with styling.
Yeah. Here's the next
story. God Center, I'm so used to seeing you on the line and forgot you're an actor. Then I see you in something, but I'm never sure if it's you. Like, did you do a bit of pouring coffee into a man's mouth from Caracal?
Yeah. I also just, I have a sketch comedy team online that it's so funny. Like, we've been making sketches together for years and people never like remember, like every time we put out a video together and it goes viral, people are always like, oh wow, I can't believe these three are all in a video together. And it's like, we have so many videos together. We have like literally like 200 videos together. The only person in the world who knows the three of us together, well, there's two people, but it was we hang out all the time. We walk around Los Angeles together all the time, and we're walking on the street going to an anti-ICE protest. We were going up to this detention center in downtown Los Angeles, and we ran into Zach Woods from The Office, and Zach Woods goes, "Oh my God, it's you three!" And we were like,
The
"What?"
Office and
Silicon Valley,
right?
Silicon Valley. And he goes, "Oh my God, it's you three!" And we're like, "What?" He's like, "You're my favorite, you three." And we were like, "You know the three of us together?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we were like, "Dude, come on, Zach." We're like, "That's awesome." And he was like, "I love you guys." And then the other person is Tim Baltz from The Righteous Gemstones. He was a guest star on this show that my girlfriend was doing. And when I met him, I was like, "Dude, I'm a huge fan of yours." He's like, "I'm a huge fan of yours." He's like, "You and those other two people that you do sketches with, those are the only two people in years who have known the three of us together." So even this commenter was like, "Were you in a thing where you were pouring coffee down some guy's throat?" Yeah, that's my sketch team. We're called Hard Pass. And it's me and Carolyn Dunton and Colin Stanley.
Am I an asshole for not knowing any of this?
No, nobody's an asshole for not knowing anything
I'm going
about
to your
me.
IMDb. Is there something obvious that I should know you from?
No, it's not like that. Like if you've watched Mindhunter, a lot of people have seen that show.
I started it and didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's
I'm more interested in the 3 episodes of Touched by an Angel. TBH.
That's where it all. I've been doing this since I was like 9 years old. I've been doing this for a long time, so
That's
goes
incredible.
It goes back a long ways. Yeah, I was in a series of films with Kevin Costner that only the first one came out and the rest of them got canceled. So
seems about right for Kevin Costner.
Yeah. Austin the Fuzzy Logic says, Austin to Jovan, I didn't realize it would be so big. I bet that's not the first time Jovan has heard that. I can't remember what that was about, but yeah.
First of all, I have a micro, so leave me alone. We got like 12 minutes, guys. What is? Oh, we got Greg, a conservative from Ohio, who wants to talk about communism. Greg, him conservative from Ohio. What do you want to talk to us about communism specifically?
Hey, what's up? So Marx and Engels didn't like this idea, but it's the only way in my brain that I could figure that communism would actually work, at least for a short time. And I'll give the parallel. Like if you ever watched the first Star Trek Voyager, where they go to this society after they get stuck to the other side of the galaxy and all this, and there's this AI supercomputer in space that is feeding this society and creating everything for them and telling them what to do, which is great until the AI fails. But everybody's kind of degenerated at that point because they have no motivation to learn anything or to work because the computer's doing everything for them, and then it all falls apart and they have to be rescued by people that actually do have the motivation to work, i.e. the people from the Voyager. So that's kind of what the problem with communism is. It destroys the motivation for people to work and to develop themselves.
I disagree. People already don't have motivation to work. They only work because they have to. If you ask any single working class person, hey, I'll give you the day off today, they're all taking it. That's not motivation.
Everybody works because they are motivated to because they have to. And they have to is great motivation.
That's not motivation. I don't view doing something because you have to be like you're motivated to do it. You're not motivated to do it. You just have to do it. And that's why most people do a half-assed job because they don't like their job. They don't want to be there. They're going to put in minimal effort because they don't give a shit.
Sure, but if
when we could have a system where they do,
if people never did anything they didn't want to do, that'd be a great communist society too. We'd all live in the woods, because nothing would ever get made. There wouldn't be factories, there wouldn't be cars. Nobody wants to do stuff like that.
It's just not true. For example, so many people do want to do stuff like that. So many people, like, their favorite thing to do is work with their hands and make stuff and build stuff. And if they knew they were doing it to benefit a community and not just to line the pockets of a corporation, they'd work 10 times harder. I just don't think that your assessment of human nature is accurate at all.
Okay, here's an example of 2 different kinds of jobs that I've had. Okay, the first was very, very difficult. Okay, I'd have to drive a vac truck hundreds of miles. I'd have to pull these vac tubes up 300 feet up the boilers, and then connect them to a boiler hole. And I'd have to crawl in there with a fire hose and a little tiny light on my hat, lay on my back in this little tiny congested space about 3 or 4 feet tall, and wash this out with a fire hose. Okay. That was not a fun job. Then I got a job like I'm doing right now, where I'm sitting around watching disabled people and calling YouTube channels because I'm so freaking bored. Okay, now, why on earth would anybody crawl in that boiler when somebody else is sitting here on their butt calling YouTube channels and they're all getting the same benefits? And you're going to tell me somebody's motivated to do that job? There's nobody on earth motivated to do that job.
Why do you believe they would all get the same benefits?
Well, you're saying equality. So, wait.
You don't understand this, right? We're saying people should still be able to access their needs. Labor shouldn't be in exchange for needs, but people can still get incentives for doing harder labor. Those incentives just can't be tied to some type of currency or some type of resource like withholding.
Okay, so you're saying everybody's just going to get like basically food stamps or universal basic income. Then if they want to do more, then they can go out and do the hard job. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, the benefits, like the incentives that they get, can't be tied to the commodification of labor, because that just continues to fuck the system. But there can be other benefits. They might get better working hours. They might get like first pick of some type of perk or something that like is specific to them in that job. There are still benefits they can get. They may do it because it grants them some level of social status, but they can't be doing it to receive some type of to receive more of a commodification of their labor. That's where the issue
So if you
lies.
receive a social status, or if you receive different working hours, or if you receive cash that you consider equal to that, what's the difference?
Well, it would be cash, because that would be a commodification of labor. Can't be
What's
money.
the difference between those other things you just said and getting the cash? What's the difference?
Because when you start commodifying labor, you can then use that commodified labor to then influence the system again, hence capitalism, which is why we're trying to avoid.
Okay, but if you have the money, it's equal to the other things that you said. So if you consider the money equal to the hours,
No,
or the
it's
money
not
equal to
those.
Well, if you consider it, it is. I mean,
But it's not.
That's how we negotiate wages. We say my hours are worth, $14 an hour or whatever. We say it's worth the same thing. Hours are worth cash. So what's the difference?
No
I would
worker.
actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say I would actually argue that like the exchange of money is the thing that makes that work so tedious and arduous and undesirable for you and for a lot of people. It's the fact that like someone does put a dollar amount on it, and we know what dollars are and what they can buy and what things cost. And when you know how much more the person who runs the company you work for is making than you are, it makes you feel like you're getting a raw deal, and it makes you feel like your labor is not being valued, and that the value of your labor is being stolen from you, and that you're not able to afford basic necessities. You're not getting a fair trade, basically. And so it really doesn't come down to like whether or not it's money. It comes down to whether or not the incentives that are being offered are something that actually matters to you. If you feel like your labor is valued, actually.
Okay, so let's say we all have a Toyota Camry, okay, because we're all in an egalitarian society and everybody is hypothetically working because they all love each other, which of course isn't true and defies basic human nature. But let's say they
Why
do.
would we all have Toyota
And
Camrys? There's more cars than Toyota Camrys on the market. Why would we all have just Toyota
Okay,
Camrys?
but this is a hypothetical example that we all have a basically equal type of car. So I just picked a random selection. So, okay, so we all have an equal type of car, whatever it is. And I want a fast car. I want a nice car. How do I get it?
I don't know how
Am I
you
not
want me to
allowed to have it
engage.
now?
I don't know how you want me to engage in an analogy that's like trying to ask me how would this work under this system when you framed it in a way that isn't how the system would work.
Okay, are you not saying that we would all have the same basic sort of car in this system?
No,
because we would all
we never
have
said
equal
that.
outcomes.
You said that. No, we never said that. You said that. You said what about you said what if we lived in a hypothetical society where everyone had the same car and I wanted a different car, and we said why would everyone have the same car, and you said because in this hypothetical example everyone does, and we went okay, and then you went how would I get a better car?
Okay,
but we don't
I
agree
perceive
that that's
is your model, but tell me if that's
that's
not
not
the
our
case,
model.
what your model actually is here. Okay, that's fine, but
You
tell
can
me
get
what your
whatever
model
car you-
is,
whatever-
where you think
You can have whatever the fuck car you want.
Yeah, I don't know why
any car. Okay, so John down the street can have the best car in the world, and nobody
as
can
long
tell
as
him
it's
he can't have
available.
it. He can
If
have
it's
a Hummer,
available.
If it's available, he can get whatever the fuck he wants.
If it's available. Okay, so you're not going to make that available to everybody, so there will be shortages, and some people have to get the Toyota.
It's
while
not
the other
available
people
to
get the
everybody
Hummer.
right now. Greg, do
Yeah,
you
I
think
don't know.
everybody can have any car that they want under capitalism? Is that your big example? Is like under your system, I can't have whatever car I want. You can't have whatever car you want right now.
Well, I
This
could
is just
save up for it or
classic
make
conservatives
choices.
talking about capitalism and calling it communism.
Yeah, because I can at least have the choice of designing my life towards that end. I can't have.
No, you
all
don't actually have a. You don't
You
actually
really
have a choice
don't.
on
more.
this.
Do you think you have the choice to become a billionaire, Greg? Or a
think
millionaire
if I
for that
worked hard
matter?
enough and I made the right choices, it's at least potentially possible. Under your system, it definitely
it's not.
isn't possible. But
It's
it
n-
is
it's-
under a normal capitalist system.
Greg,
there is
Greg,
a
Greg, the
possibility.
game is rigged
Greg,
against you, bud.
real quick. At any time on the globe, how much currency is in circulation?
No idea.
No idea. Is it infinite?
No clue. No, it's a limited resource.
Yep. Is there enough currency that every person on the planet could be a trillionaire?
No.
Okay. So then no, not everybody can be these things. Not everybody can be a billionaire or a millionaire. There's not enough money for that.
No, but
So no, quite
under
literally
our
no. So
system-
wait, no, under your system, no, under your system, under capitalism, not everybody can be a millionaire. It is functionally
Yeah,
impossible.
hold on. Yes, under this system we can, because we're not using a gold or silver standard. We create money through debt. So if we create the business, we create the money that actually is basically brought
The
into
money
existence at
in
the point of your
circulation
creation.
is finite. The money in circulation is finite. Unless you want to
The
hyperinflate
amount of
every
money
dollar.
increases by the work that you decide to do. Literally, it is printed and created by your debt when you go to the bank to get the loan to create the business. That money is poofed into existence right
That's
then.
not how that
so
works.
the amount of money that's needed.
That's
well,
not how that works.
It literally is. That's
No.
how our
The
partial
banks don't
reserve
just
system
magic
does work.
money into existence. No.
Yes, they
That's
call
not
it
how
the
that
Federal
works.
Reserve, and the Federal Reserve prints the money. That is how the Federal Reserve system
That's
works.
not how that works, Greg.
I mean,
no.
they might digitize it, but it's
That's not how banks
okay.
banks
Go
don't
watch
just
go
magic
watch
up
a
money
video
that doesn't
called
exist.
Money is debt.
I
Go
don't
watch a
need
video
to.
called
Banks don't
Money
just
is
snap
Debt.
their fingers and money shows up. They use the money
Yes,
that
that's
they
what the
already
Federal
have.
Reserve
Okay,
does.
Greg, we're out of time.
No, they don't.
We're out of time.
We don't.
We're
and
out
you're
of
wrong,
time,
so it's time to
unfortunately,
move on.
Greg. But capitalism is rigged against you, and you're not going to become a millionaire or a billionaire in your lifetime, and you can't just own whatever house or whatever car you want. Because the system is rigged against you, it's rigged against me, it's rigged against Jovan, it's rigged against all of us. I am co-hosting the next show, so I'm going to let you wrap things up here, Jovan, and I'm going to step out of the room for a second.
Okay. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Thanks for watching the show today. Thank you to all our super chatters. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you want to see Austin, then we're gonna just send you guys right now over to the Sunday show after dark. So go do that. Have fun. We'll see you guys on the next Calling It Now, which I think is tomorrow. Jimmy and Promise, I think. So see you guys later. Bye bye. Have a good one. TTFN linepod.app. Download the app for the podcast if you're on the Patreon. Bye.